welcome to Power Play. We are at the seventh episode of the fifth season. So things, this is where things start picking up momentum. Thank you for joining us. I know there's nothing interesting going on in the world of entertainment tonight. We are, I assume, the only game in town as far as, anything to watch goes. So we really appreciate, I'm Rick Budd, your game master, and these four lovely and talented people are B. Zelda, returning to us, our Ulez Galley, Sam DeLev, our Cadrax Eversinger, Caitlin Bruder, our Benny Beckett, and Omar Najam, our Vion Vigor. Hello. And I want to throw a special thanks out to Jake and Lauren and the mods and everyone at QueueTimes. Your subs and your bits help support QueueTimes, and your donation to the tip jar helps support this show and the people you see on the screen. There's our Feed the Cast fund. And to that end, we've got some rewards, and here's how they work. Hang on. Some caught in my throat there. If we get to $50, the team gets a point of community determination as usual. I think right now they have 1 point of community determination, and I think only 2 players have determination at this moment. Determination going at a premium. And if we get to $150, the Mysterious Benefactor, as you know, in-game our team has a Mysterious Benefactor who can get them cool, helpful gifts that they sometimes remember that they have. It doesn't matter where they are in space or time, the Mysterious Benefactor can reach them. We know outside the game that Mysterious Benefactor is you. The chat so far this season, you have given them a healing elixir, single-use holographic disguise generator, a gym pass, good for +1 any physical attribute, single-use nanotechnology spray-on armor, single-use memory pruner with kind of like an MIB, like a Men in Black style neuralizer, and single-use portal generator. And if we get to $150 today, the team gets a single-use sensory accelerator. When you use it, it makes a character impossible to surprise attack for a single scene. So if you put it on and turn it on, you cannot be surprised attacked while whatever is going on is going on. And that's the Mysterious Benefactor gift. And if we get to $250, an after credits lore drop, a revealing glimpse of some important but previously unseen part of our story or universe. You can always see these tiers in chat with the command unlocks. And if you can't support us by donating, you can always help us by liking and commenting on YouTube videos, sharing our tweets, and helping promote the show and stuff. And we've got some incredible fan art, coming in this week, which we just love. So, anything along those lines just kind of warms our heart. Again, check out Lemon Twist's take on Beatrix Blast versus the Moon Snail. I seriously, I want it as a poster. And now you can get Power Play merchandise, and you can get it at some place that doesn't try and con your ass by selling NFTs. Ooh. We have t-shirts and stickers. There's one of those stickers right there, and there's another one right there with Caitlin's wonderful character and the logo done by our friend Hector Lowe. I think you can get both original and updated versions, or you soon will be able to get both versions. And it is available at the QueueTimes Stream Elements store. Stream Elements, the place that's not trying to rip you off. And Jake will pump that link down into the chat. Thank you, Jake, for making that happen and helping us avoid the whole NFT, shenanigans. The game we play.
It's called a scam, Rick.
Yes, thank you, Omar. Yes, the whole NFT scam. Yeah, it's just like, come on, okay. No, I'm not going to go off on an NFT checker. But the game we play here.
Spoilers. It's the big bad at the end of Power Play is an NFT.
That's right. When we get to whatever the show's series finale is, the ultimate villain is NFT, the personification of NFTs. So the game we play here is called Icons. It's published by Ad Infinitum Adventures, and it was created by a very cool dude named Steve Kenson. You can check him out on Twitter at @SKenson. The book edition that I have is published by Green Ronin. They were sold out last time we checked. They might eventually get these back in. It is hard to say, but you can always get it as a PDF, and I think sometimes Ad Infinitum sells print to PDF versions that are made on order. So definitely check it out. It's a fantastic system. You can follow the show at PowerPlay RPG on Twitter and Instagram. Wow, I think we've opened up the first tier already. Thank you so much, everyone. If I am reading that right on my teeny tiny second screen, I think I am. Thank you so much. We are super grateful for how generous y'all have been with us this season and every season. So yeah, Power Play is now available as a podcast for the podcast inclined. You can find it wherever fine pods are casted. Due to a little technical error, last week's episode has not dropped yet on podcast. I think that is coming this week, so keep an eye out for that if you're one of our podcast people. Go to the Power Play Discord. Omar is doing all sorts of incredible things in the Discord. He's running the Port Ruby Poetry Review, which has poems by Omar, and Drac wrote a poem, and Librarian Liz did a poem. Just fantastic stuff. And also the supervillain origin stories, which are just incredible. We have literal original superhero stories coming to you from one of the guys who wrote Ms. Marvel. So please check those out. I promise you they are as cool as anything we are doing on the show. Omar is just like it. Each one of those has been a home run. Jake will throw the link for the Discord in chat for you. And I think, that's the announcements. Time for Power Play. Welcome back. I am told by Jake you can get both new and old character art at the new Stream Element store, and I'm told by Sam that the Men in Black and their neurorizers are real, so watch out, people. Previously on Power Play. The necklace that Benny got from Althea the Enlightenist sent Benny back in time to her family farm on November 15th, 2020. With help from Miranda Vorton, the team was able to follow her. Reunited in Bellwood, Michigan, the team found themselves saving Benny's childhood friend Priya Singh from the Crowman, a bizarre creature of urban legend with a penchant for riddles. Vion then activated the time shifter crystal to bring the team back home, but instead they found themselves in the old western town of Grave Glen in the year 1871, where they helped Sheriff Virgil Wheeler defend his town against an army of skeleton cowboys and save a man named Maynard Bed Dixon, an implied ancestor of Vion's good friend Destiny. The team then time jumped again and found themselves in a covert NSA research facility in Washington, D.C., where they were enlisted by their old pal Molly Darnell to help prove she didn't steal a huge shipment of N technology from a secure warehouse. In the end, the team captured the real bad guy, destroyed the stolen tech, and gave Molly's boss, a guy known only as Bob, the idea to build a super team of his own. Next, they landed in Port Ruby's Brace Square, only instead of their own time, it appeared they were somewhere in the 1930s. With Ulez ostensibly under the control of Maria Serrano, the team helped a Star Choir refugee named Crescendra wriggle out from under the thumb of the gangster Twister Whitlow. And the most recent time jump took the team to a snowy forest on a mountaintop in a time and place that remains undetermined. That is where we are going to pick up. It looks to be about dawn. You see the sun rising. The wind is whipping and howling. You are surrounded by tall, snow-covered trees, and from somewhere nearby, you hear the sound of wolves howling. You are still wearing the clothes you got in 1934 Port Ruby, so you're all freezing.
It doesn't have to be like something that would give me determination at all, but I do think fire close is kept. I think this would be enough of a shock to Benny's system that she would immediately burst into flames.
Yeah?
Upon arrival in
That feels like a trouble. You should take that point of determination.
I don't know if it really is causing any problems for me though, but I think she does.
It's causing a lot of problems.
Yeah, I'm sweating a little. It's
a lot of excessive heat.
Depends. Did 1930s period clothes get asbestos treated?
Oh,
Like you're always
Oh no. Yeah, you're right. It's a good point.
Unclear.
I'll leave that up to Caitlin. You want to take it as a trouble? If you take it as a trouble, I would say your clothes probably burn away.
Yeah, why not? That's funny. We'll deal with it. She'll stay lava until then.
All right, yeah, you
Use lava.
flame on as you know, with the disorientation and the cold, and
Fully
you know,
lava explode into heat because it's so cold and it scares the fire within.
wow, yeah,
This
no,
is a
that's
threat
great.
to my body. Heat.
So the rest of you are freezing, unless you happen to be standing right near Benny. In which case that probably helps a little. Ulez, the events of the last day and a half are like a dream to you. You remember them, but it's a hazy jumble of images: a department store, a well, a concert hall. You can feel the residue of Maria's consciousness in your head, and it's sort of like a hangover. But the distinctive voice that she had is gone, just mixed back into your own thoughts.
Okay. I have a strange desire to tell kids that I'm an alien.
Ulez?
Oh, we greet you. We
Hey.
do not recognize this area.
We kind of quantum leaped our way into somewhere else. Not exactly
Oh.
sure where it is. Do you? I've never quite asked. How do you experience temperature?
Rick, we never talked about this.
That you have some sensitivity to it because, like, being immune to those kind of things is like a separate superpower in the game that you don't have. So
Mhm.
while I'll say you're probably not quite as sensitive as a human being, you feel extreme cold, extreme heat. That
Okay.
kind of stuff.
Components, right? So like
Yeah.
cool better than heat, too cold not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I buy
We
that.
are feeling rather slow, like our parts are icy.
Okay, well let's use the logic we use in that game we play. You know, where you climb up to the top of mountains and then you flutter down in order to just hop on the back of horses to make it easier to ride them. Versus trying to sneak up on them, which is real difficult. You know how there's like some there's not levels because it's like an open world game.
Could
But
I get clothing or earrings? Earrings to keep myself warm.
we can definitely see if there's a spot for us to look for earrings and clothing. Absolutely. In fact, we've been kind of doing like a whole clothing thing as we've been hopping around, so that would be
Oh,
that's the ideal. But for right
very
now,
fancy.
maybe we can use some wood or something like that to create like a little fire for ourselves to huddle around until we get a better plan together.
You say that, and then I think Ulez just like glances over at Benny.
Or yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, or I guess we could just huddle around our friend.
Yes, we believe that is best. They will keep us warm, and like we'll put like our hands up to you, like you're a little campfire.
I think Benny still like flinches, has like the reaction to like flinch away from people when she is on fire, just because it is like that is ingrained in her. So I think she does like a little bit, but then she's like, okay, I'm good. Okay.
You're from Michigan is probably not the first time that others have used you for warmth. Like I can imagine Will just being like, come on,
Oh, yes.
please, come on.
Will for sure. Yes, probably
Leaving
no
my
one else on the
everything
planet, but Will, and maybe like Pre on Friday.
So while you start huddling around Benny for warmth, from somewhere you hear a scream.
Okay, that
Is it the
changes.
same direction we heard the wolves?
Do you want to try and figure it out?
Ooh.
I think that seems immediately relevant because it is a sound and I've been tracking the howling, I think, in particular.
Give me an investigation roll, Cadric.
Sure. 8.
You think they are coming from the same general direction. And I will say that direction is to your west.
I believe someone might be endangered by predators.
Okay, great. Let's
Oh.
go.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use little magic to cast flight on all of us who can't fly. Strictly not because I don't want to take it away from you, Doc. I know you can carry us.
You
But
can't
because
carry me
Benny is
Benny
hot,
right now.
actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. You got it right. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, great. I cast it.
Give me a little magic roll.
All right. Here we go. This is going to be, for everyone keeping track at home, 3 plus roll. 8 to turn on.
All right, that just does the job.
Great.
And yeah, so everybody has got by virtue of magic flight now. And you into the air, over the trees towards the west, and you don't have to go that far, maybe 100 yards or something, and you see beneath you a clearing, and in it there is a person. I would say you probably can get this without investigation. There's a person. They are from. You can see they're dressed in camouflage, wearing like a black ski mask and big snow goggles. They have a rifle slung over their shoulder, but they're not using it. They seem to actually just seem to be trying to stay away from the wolves. And you can perceive that they are perhaps limping.
I mean, instinct is to fly right over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you fly over. What are you doing? You're landing.
Oh, you know what? We're in the spirit of troubles. I haven't even opened up my character sheet. Gosh.
That's even better than the spirit of. I know what I want to be when I grow up.
Spirit of troubles. I'm a little honest and kind of naive. I mean, I'm a lot naive. So completely unfazed by the idea that this looks like a threatening person carrying a rifle in the middle of nowhere who is not expecting a stranger to land in from a flying position. I would like to just plop down right in front of them with a "We greet you."
Okay, Ulez, I'm going to give you a point of determination.
Please don't shoot me.
You plop down right next to them, and as you do, one of those wolves just like leaps at you and hits you on the back, knocking you to the ground, and is now growling at the back of your head. You do not take damage, but you are now off your feet. What are the rest of the other three of you doing?
I would like, especially upon observing that, to interpose myself between Ulez and the remaining wolves and to communicate to them that they ought to leave my ally alone. I have a fairly extensive sound library of canine noise and this right here. So I would like to big scary growl using my voice.
Give me a complex task roll. Oh my god, I think
Sure.
we've unlocked the second tier.
What?
Wow, thank you so much, everybody. So yeah, you have by virtue of the power of your mysterious benefactor, you now have what did I call it? The sensory accelerator. You have to. This is a thing that we're going to say. It is like it's like a little cap or something, and you got to put it on. And when you, as long as you are wearing it, you have to specifically put it on and turn it on for it to work.
Can it look like a toque? Like a toque? Like a
sure.
Like a bird?
No.
Can't.
No, what do Americans call this? Chat, I don't know.
You think you know what the...
It's the hat that kind of goes over your ears, keeps your ears warm. Sometimes has a pom-pom on the top.
Hats?
Oh,
It's
so like
toque.
an ear flap hat.
Not necessarily flap. Oh my gosh, I've never had this bear.
Beanie.
Beanie.
A beanie. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. It is like a beanie. But you know, there's only one of them. It is a single-use item.
One beanie of alertness. Got it.
Yes, one beanie of
Excellent.
alertness. Yeah.
Perfect.
And if you put it on, you are totally unsurprisable. So, Kadrax, what did you get?
Yes, that's a 15 for big scary Hadract wolf noise.
And you use your voice to create just the most terrifying growl. I mean, this is like if you could speak wolf, you were essentially, telling these wolves, I mean,
Why
this is
I yotta.
yes. This is like Robert De Niro wolf showing up with like a bat and, just giving a speech about baseball, and all Untouchables fan gets it. So yeah, thank you, Omar. Yeah, all those wolves just all of a sudden they're just like like they turn into puppies almost, and they back off, and then they turn around and just disappear into the woods.
I'll roll out of a snow pile that I probably landed in then.
Yeah, you can get back to your feet. You are a little, a little shaken, but not hurt at all.
Oh my. That was scary. We greet you.
And the person kind of like looks around and reaches up and pulls off the ski mask and goggles, and you find yourself looking at a woman with short, almost totally buzzed blonde hair. If I had to cast her, I'd say she is Charlize Theron.
Ooh.
And she says, "Thanks for the help. Thought I was dog food there for a minute."
Oh, those were not your allies.
No. And she reaches down and touches her ankle and pulls her hand up, and she's bleeding, and she rubs the ankle, and she's like, "God damn, that hurts."
I have allies. We can assist. May I ask your identification?
My identification?
We are Les Galley.
And she kind of looks you over.
I'm fashioned today. She can't
Yeah.
even judge.
Yeah,
What
she
makes
looks
this fit?
looking at this, odd combination of 1930s dress with, your natural kind of, artificial intelligence keeper appearance. And she's like, "Is that some kind of snowsuit you're in?"
Yes.
Huh. My name is Marlene Shaw. I'm a botanist.
We have studied botany on this planet. We are very passionate about it.
Oh, well, I think we'll be friends then.
Yes. Please
I-
continue.
I came up the mountain on foot. I've been looking for the cabin that I rented, but I got lost, and the next thing I knew, I was surrounded by these wolves. Tried to back away, but one of them bit my leg. She goes back to rubbing her ankle.
Do you require medical assistance?
We can assist.
Yeah. I mean, if you have medical training.
I am Dr. Caden D'Alto. I'm a surgeon.
Doctor?
Caden D'Alto, yes.
Dr. Caden D'Alto. Nice to meet you. How should we do this? Oh, sorry, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I love the thought of the two humans like floating like 30 feet up in the air and being like, the aliens got this.
Yeah,
Got this
100%.
meet and greet.
Oh, yeah. Are you still? And
Yeah.
so
No, I didn't come down. I am made of
the
lava.
sun up there.
Yeah, I don't want to
You're
scare
just
somebody.
glowing.
And I can't come down. I'm a frail little boy.
she's like, "How do you want to do this, Doc?"
Ah, let's see. At the cabin that you rented, do you know if there's additional? No, I have some on me. Please sit on that stump and elevate that leg upon the tree.
I'll brush
And
the snow off the stump.
And she kind of limps over to the stump and sits down and leans back. Gah! She looks up and sees two people floating in the air.
Oh, sorry.
Who is? What is? How?
Allies.
Our
Well-
allies are still hanging out at the moment.
Mhm.
Please roll up your pant leg.
Hey,
And
yeah.
she waves back at you all awkwardly, Benny, and then she leans down and rolls up her pant leg. And who are you people?
Doctor.
Les Galley.
D'Alto.
Those are our allies. And I enjoy botany.
I float down.
I've
How's
been
it go-
seen now. I'll come down too.
My name's Vion Vigor, and I don't know as much about medicine as the other folks here, but just to make sure you're not going to shock, I'll just ask a few quick questions, run them back to us. Remind me your name again.
Marlena Shaw.
Okay, great. Another thing, and I turned to Cadrax, and I'm really playing it up. How about easy one? What year is it?
What I'm sorry, what year is it? Oh, you're
Just
just
to make sure you're not
Typically
going into
asked as
shock.
part of
Yeah.
concussion protocol, yes.
2005.
Correct. Okay, great. That's and you are right. Here's one just off the top of my head, Doc. What location are you in? What region of the world?
We're in Colorado, in Rocky Mountain National Park.
Hey, to me, that all checks out. Doc, I'll let you take over. And I just kind of wander off. And then I realize how cold I am, and I'm trying to think of a spell that would fix that.
The spell that would fix that would be a friendship with Benny Beckett.
Yes.
I keep, and you see me like wandering, trying to figure out like a solution as you like
Benny's
are melting.
following
And
you.
realize
like,
friendship is magic.
The friendship is magic. Benny is following you like 5 feet behind, like trying to get back in your orbit, but you're like thinking, and she's like still walking behind you, and not trying not to get too close. But there's the like of like her lava feet walking through snow, like trailing you.
And she's and Marlene is like, can I ask a question?
Clearly. Well done.
Why is that woman on fire?
She was cold.
Yes.
So you can fly and light on fire,
And I study plants.
and you study plants.
I study medicine.
Am I having some kind of psychotic break? Did those wolves do more than I thought? Because I'm trying to wrap my head and find an explanation for this.
Your statements are all correct. We are having a hard time understanding what your confusion is about.
As we like circle back around, like Benny's following Vienna, Benny's like, I don't know why I'm like this either, if that helps. And then she keeps walking.
And as you keep walking, it's like, you start cutting like a trail in the snow. It just instantly melts around you.
Mhm.
And Marlena holds out her leg to you, Kadrax, and says, all right, what do you need me to do?
Just stay right there. I have a first aid kit.
Oh,
remember
you do?
I took a bullet out of Benny Beckett when she was shot. Not that time, the other time. No, not that time, the other time.
Now, what did we say it gave you? +1 or +2 to medical tests?
I believe it's +1.
That
a better medical kit would be a future item.
A better medical kit? I will write that down. I'm always looking for good mysterious benefactor gifts. Please,
And
chat,
I'm always looking for more medical tools.
Chat, suggest cool mysterious benefactor gifts for to help Rick.
Hashtag powerplay RPG and give Rick some fun ideas and weird things to give us.
So the
today
medical
is scary
kit,
because it implies that we're going to get snuck attacked. Like, why would you need it if you didn't need the surprise beanie?
Oh no, that could happen next week. You don't know.
Exactly, it could happen at any time unless you're wearing the beanie, and then you know when it's happening.
The medical kit, advanced medical kit is +2 to medical related tasks.
All right, well, I will take that, and I will roll on it. Hey, thank you, Dyke. So 11 + 1 + 2, yeah.
So you wrap that with the expertise of a professional doctor and antiseptic and she kind of puts her leg back down, puts some weight on it, and she's like, hey, that's not bad. Definitely had worse. Thanks, Doc.
You're welcome. Did you rent the long gun along with the cabin?
It's just in case. I might have needed this if you didn't show up. I don't like to shoot at wildlife unless I have to, but sometimes when you're alone in the woods, you have to.
And this is a common occurrence for you in the course of your botanical studies?
I do like field work.
This is a forest, madam.
What? Well, what I meant was,
You need help finding your residence. I'm going to aid you back to your cabin.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's got a fireplace and food and maybe even some spare winter gear, which you all look like you could need.
Yes, I'm ill-suited for this.
Yeah, if you help me find it, you're welcome to hunker down with me until the snow passes.
Do you have plant specimens that you have been studying there as well?
Well, no, it's a rented cabin, so I've actually never been to it before. I only know what they told me would be there.
Okay. We can with your permission, perhaps fly you?
Fly me?
Correct.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that sounds kind of cool.
It is exhilarating.
Would you care to airlift our patient then?
Oh, we do not think we can lift her. We have a hard time lifting many light things. Dog is about the amount that we can lift.
You said your name is Ulez Galley,
Correct.
and you're Dr. Caden D'Alto.
Correct.
And she points at you, Vion, and she's like, what was your name?
My name is Vion Vigor.
Vion Vigor? Like Maritime Mystery at Crescent Cottage, Vion Vigor?
And I step away from it. I don't need your heat anymore. The blushing itself is going to keep me warm for a while. Don't worry about that. Yeah, the one and the same, actually.
Huh. My mother loves your books.
Tell your mother I said thank you. And I turned to Benny. I told you moms love me. It's just like a thing.
They really do, yeah.
It's just like such a thing.
That makes sense,
And-
yeah.
And she points at you, Benny. What's your name?
Benny Beckett. Pleased to meet you.
And this doesn't hurt you.
No. No. I'm mostly just like this because the cold scared me, I guess, and this she holds up like her lava arms, burnt off most of my clothes, so we're just hanging out like this until those can be replaced.
Incredible. All right, well, let's get to the cabin, and I think we might be able to help you. Vion, since you already rolled flight, it's on. Oh, Cadrax could just do
Great.
it too, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, you all, the five of you, lift into the air, and Marlene is just like, oh my god, oh my god, this is incredible. And she sort of looks around and it pulls like her goggles back down so she can kind of like see in the blowing snow. Kind of got totally disoriented. I don't actually know where the cabin is. It shouldn't be that far from where we are, though.
Can you describe anything about it?
It's made of wood.
Could you perhaps be more specific? I am perceiving a fair amount of wood in the area.
Like I said, I've never been there before, but I don't.
Were you provided coordinates, perhaps in longitude and latitude?
No, I had a map, but I dropped it when I was running from the wolves. I think it blew away.
Then we will proceed by attempting to locate any form of housing, and we can, as they say, guess and check whether this is your house.
If we pulled up a map, like a digital map, would you be able to point out the location if you recognize the area on a different map?
Maybe.
Benny looks at one of the other people with devices because I can't interact with mine right now.
Yeah.
Cadrax pulls out theirs and it doesn't connect.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, Cadrax, you pull out your phone.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, so I've got her in one arm so I can have a phone behind her back. And not bring too much anachronism into it, because I don't know when 4G cards were a thing. So I
Yeah,
can see that.
it just does not find a signal.
Nope, it does not.
To be fair, you don't need any connection to open the Maps app. It just can't
It just can't do anything. Yeah.
it can't set up a route or anything, but the
I
Maps
don't
app
think
will
it could
still you can still look at a
populate
map.
with a distant region, because it caches your the last location that it was connected to. If you go across a country, it doesn't necessarily have the whole world cached offline.
Mhm.
So I think going to Colorado, I don't know that we have it.
That's fair.
Let's assume that you try and it doesn't work.
I'm gonna cast detection.
What are you trying to detect?
Thanks.
Electricity.
Okay. Big magic, I assume, since you're using little magic for
Yeah,
flight.
that'd be great.
What level are you looking for?
Since I've got a pretty good big magic to make it a little bit easier on myself, I'm gonna cast that at level 6, just to give me a touch of advantage. I've got level 7 big magic. I also don't know if this cabin has electricity. It could be totally off the grid.
Yukon National Park is fairly well electrified.
Okay. It was 2005 though. Just kidding.
Like that's a long time ago, but not like horrendously long ago.
Not
No,
infrastructurally. Like, look, do you think they've
Yeah.
invested in infrastructure in the last 15 years, or do you think they've been riding on what they got?
You know what? Actually, probably this is more advanced than we probably have right now.
Was electricity invented before 2005?
Apparently,
I
but only
remember,
briefly.
despite having been alive then, due to being ancient.
Detection is the ability to detect a specific thing at visual range with awareness equal to your detection level. So it's got to be within visual range. You have a bird's eye view right now, so your visual range is probably pretty far. Beyond, you're looking for what detection level?
6.
All right. Give me a roll.
So this is 7. Or this is to turn it on is 10. 8 plus roll.
That will turn it on.
Okay, great. And now this is gonna be 7 plus roll.
Yeah.
That's pumpkin. Best I can do. So that's gonna be 13.
You think you are sensing an electrical current coming from the north. It is weak, but you feel it.
All right. Northward bound, everybody.
Yeah, and you fly. The 5 of you fly north into the snow, and you're not flying very long when you spot another clearing that has a snow-covered cabin built into it. You swoop down towards it, and it is, it looks like it comes right out of a Bob Ross painting. Just, picturesque. It is built on sort of a shallow incline in this clearing and is surrounded by tall trees. It has a very large porch that is covered in kind of a perfect blanket of snow. It's got a large bay window in the front and sort of smaller windows along the sides. That's what you can see from where you are. You land fully?
Probably.
Is this your cabin?
Yeah, this is it. It looks just like the picture.
Then yes, we do land. I'll do a quick safety ping.
Good call.
Give me a ping roll. Oh, you're going to get this.
15.
There's nobody inside.
There are no further hostile canines.
Well, I'm glad to hear there aren't wolves using the cabin. And she walks up to the front door and kind of kicks the snow at the base of the door away, revealing a doormat. And she bends down and picks up the mat, and she goes, "Oh, damn it. There's no key. Guy said the key would be under the mat. Well, freeze if she stays out here." She takes the rifle off of her shoulder and she...
Whoa! Hold up! You don't gotta. No. Guns are never the solution. In fact, what the hell is that over there? And I just point over her shoulder.
Make a willpower roll.
Great. Can I add performance?
Yes, you can.
Oh
Great.
my gosh, it's been a while since you got to add performance.
Oh, look, a distraction.
Yes.
I rolled a 1, so that's going to be a total of 7.
She looks...
Great. I phase, and I quickly just pop through the wood door.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. You inside. You walk into the cabin.
Yep.
Do you look around first, or do you just turn around and unlock, or what do you do?
Looking around would be the smart thing. So no, I recorporealize and I open the door.
That's RV on. Yeah, you open the door, letting everyone else in, and Marlena turns around and,
It wasn't locked.
Oh, maybe he left it unlocked because he didn't have an extra key or something. All right, I'm gonna have to remember not to lock that when I leave. Oof. And you all go inside, and inside it is like a rustic fantasy. Everything is built of wood, and the place has charm and texture. There are kind of statement lighting fixtures, a fireplace. All the furniture is cozy and comfortable. It is nice to get out of the wind and the snow, but it is actually still pretty cold in there.
Benny's hanging out outside the front door.
Yeah, Benny, you're standing on the porch.
Yeah. Hey, Benny, I'm going to go scout out some clothing.
Thank you.
And then while I'm doing that real quick, I'm gonna turn off my big magic detection, and I'll blast Benny with invisibility.
Oh, thank you.
Aw.
Okay,
It's a three-piece suit, so they can shuck a jacket very easily. Just to start getting some layers onto Benny.
That's a very good point. Wait, my suit?
No,
Gadget's
we would
is-
not wear
Cadrex
those
is a three-piece
I
suit.
do not believe we are the same size.
Okay,
Size.
great.
No,
The
I have my own
outrage.
sexy three-piece suit. Thank you.
Yeah.
You get your own. But no,
It's paid for by
Cadrex
the
is-
Serranos.
Oh,
Yeah.
now Vion feels bad because his whole thing was like he really wanted the suit. Now he realizes he looks kind of like a jerk, so he will slink off to go look for additional clothing.
So yeah, you start to head off, and Marlene is like, "Yeah, let me help." And she's like, "See if I can rustle up some clothes for your friend here." And she starts like opening the bedroom doors and looking inside, and then walks into one of them and opens up a closet, and she's like, "All right, I think looks like we got a heavy winter coat," and she holds up, got a thick sweater, and we got a couple of these snowsuits. And they're kind of these like full body kind of waterproof windproof
jumpsuit.
suits.
Oh.
Yeah, jumpsuit kind of stuff. I don't know, I can't swear that they're going to fit you. They probably all belong to the guy who owns the cabin, and he's pretty big, but better than nothing, I think.
This is indeed true.
And she hands
Hypothermia
them
is better in Port Ruby.
hypothermia. Oof, don't want to be fooling around with that. And she hands them to Vion. Here, take these to your friend.
Great. While I'm doing that, I take that because the jacket's really big. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like these big puffy, got a big giant hood kind of, with fur lining kind of thing.
Is this ridiculous? Should I do this or not?
Probably.
I have no idea what it is, and the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
I haven't read
When
through
have you
this,
ever
but
not done something because it's ridiculous?
I'm gonna cast shrinking on it just to get it into the right shape.
All right,
But
big
looking at
magic or little magic?
Invisibility is being run on big magic right now. So this can be little magic. No one's flying.
All right, give me a roll to turn that on.
Let's roll. It's gonna be 7 to turn on.
All right, that is shrinking is on.
Great.
Does shrinking just work automatically? Shrinking lets you become smaller at will, each level roughly halves the size.
Oh.
So what are you going to do? You make the jacket half its size?
How big is it?
I mean, it's like a jacket, sized for a large man.
Oh, half that's gonna be a little. Well, you know what? Here's the thing, though, that you want like a jacket to be nice and cozy and tight. So yeah, let's go half the size.
All right, you shrink that jacket down to half its size. Benny, Vion brings you the snowsuit and the sweater and the jacket, and you like put it on, and it's like real tight, but just kind of gets on you. It's kind of now you got like sort of limited movement. It's like one of those like
There you go.
I think this is like no. I think visually this is Benny is invisible. So as soon as Van comes up with clothes, she turns off lava, and you see these clothing items like float up and like fill out to the shape of a person, and then it will be very clear when she is like good because she'll give you a thumbs up, but you just see an arm lift, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm good."
Oh, great! I'll turn invisibility off.
And Benny, you reappear. I assume fire off.
Yes.
And you
She
come
had to turn off to put
inside.
the clothes on, I think.
Marlena comes out of one of the bedrooms. All right, I found the heat switch. Should get warm in here sooner or later. Oh, you're not on fire anymore.
Yes. I didn't want to burn down your cabin.
All
You
right,
know
well,
Song "This Girl's on Fire" and Benny. I'm gonna say this. Viana's only bringing this up in front of Benny just because he is racking his brain for 2005 and previous
References.
references, and he might be off, but just
I'm
trying desperately to fit in.
I'm not really into the music scene.
Oh damn! All right.
Well, why don't we all sit down and get comfortable? It's coming down pretty hard, and she goes and kind of looks out the window and sort of scans around. And we could be here a while. Anybody know any good word games?
Ulez and I play Mind Meld.
Oh, yes. Not me Googling this right now.
It's where we can explain it.
Oh!
I remember this. It went very well
we
for Cat
played it
Rex.
on a road trip one time up to a lake house.
Mhm.
Yeah, why don't you explain to me how to play? Sounds good.
Yeah, sure. If we're just gonna pass some time, essentially
Mhm.
two people. Well, no, we can. It's two people say a word at the same time, just whatever word comes to their mind, and then two other people have to say the word that connects those two words. And you're trying to say the same word. You're trying to mind meld and get the same word.
Sounds fun. She checks her watch again.
Are you waiting for something, perhaps?
No?
Said Chuck.
Sam, give me an investigation roll.
Sure. Hey, oh, you jerk. You roll outside the tray. You know I can't count that. And you roll a 6. Nah. Okay, 4. I'll take them. Fine. 10.
10. You get the feeling that she is perhaps not being entirely truthful about that. So, mind meld.
What's sorry, with her watch, like what time is it right now? Can I like see? Is it like a digital watch where I could see what time it is right now?
Yeah. Tell you what, make an investigation roll.
Oh God, don't make... Coffee dice. Let's go. Coffee dice. Oh no, it's a 4.
A 4. You can see it's 7 something.
Oh shoot.
Obviously AM because it was just dawn when you got here. It hasn't been that long.
I think, if I may, could I explore this little cabin and look for any plants, even if it's just like some old pine tree branches?
You're asking me or you're asking Marlena?
I'm asking you.
You are welcome to try and do whatever you want.
Okay. Cause like half with the intent to like legit explore this little cabin. It's cool. You know, look for maybe there's a cactus that hasn't died. But also anything out of the ordinary for whatever Ulez assumes is the ordinary.
So you get up and start walking around, and Marlene is, hey, where are you going?
Oh, we would like to search for pine cones indoors.
I don't think there's anything. Why don't we all just play the game?
That we will search.
Okay.
Would you like an investigation roll?
Yeah, give me an investigation roll.
Mediocre plus amazing. How's an 11?
An 11 is pretty good. You start looking around, going bedroom to bedroom, checking the
Opening
bathrooms.
cupboards, yeah, looking under the bed.
The other 3 of you sit, and as Marlene is, wrapping her head around the rules for mind meld, you notice her check her watch again, and she gets up and kind of glances out the window again. Ulez, you do not find anything that jumps out to you as particularly interesting.
Okay. Does it look like lived in recently? Because I know there was like the owner of the cabin, but it hasn't really been stated how long he's been here or how long.
No, it looks like it's been prepared, maybe for, a guest or, for a stay. It's like all the beds are very meticulously made. The bathrooms look like they are very clean.
Mm-hmm.
The kitchen, is sort of spotless.
Anything in the fridge?
Yeah, in the fridge you find bottled water, some sandwich making essentials.
Okay, and then finally, absolutely no pine cones in the house.
You do not find any pine cones.
Weird. Okay, yeah, Ulez will kind of come back disappointed. We did not locate any pine cones or any pine boughs. How goes mind meld?
Yeah, how is it going?
We are trying to find what is in between person and arrival. And I look back at Marlene looking out the window.
Yeah, and she's kind of like glancing again, like, out the window and sits down. She's like, right, person and arrival. How did this work again? What were we supposed to guess? A word that connects the two? How did that?
Yeah, you and I will. Someone will count us down 3, 2, 1, and then we say the word that we think is the word that connects those two. Trying to think of the same word.
All right, ready?
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Visitor.
You didn't play it.
I couldn't think of anything. I may not be that good at this.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It takes a little while to get used to. Also, sometimes it if you're distracted by something, it gets a little tricky.
Such as what you were waiting for at the moment.
What are you talking about?
Your impatience.
The thing that you
is
are
quite
looking at
clear.
your watch and out the window for.
Cadrex, make a willpower roll.
It's not very effective. Oh, the die says it's as effective as it can get. Never mind. 10. Sorry, I guess I shouldn't die. All right.
And she kind of looks around at all of you who, sort of are just eyeing her, with that dead-eyed, we've got you kind of look. And, okay. I'm not a botanist.
Oh,
Sorry.
it makes sense. There's nothing on you or around you to indicate your passion for anything botany related.
I'm a bounty hunter.
Oh.
There are 2 extremely dangerous criminals hiding in these woods, and I am here to bring them in. The Boone brothers, Vic and Joey, they killed a man in Southern California, and then they attacked the cops who came to arrest them. Thought they were hiding in this cabin. I was looking for this place when the wolves attacked me, but it doesn't look like anybody's been here. I didn't shoot at the wolves because I figured if the Boones heard me, they would probably run. There is a very big reward out for them. I lied about who I was because I didn't know if you were with them or if you were here to compete with me, but I'd be very surprised to find out that the 4 of you are bounty hunters now, so let's say I feel a little more comfortable trusting you. In fact,
Imagine competing with you. It would not be sportsmanlike.
Well, maybe you don't have to. I mean, if you help me bring them in before they hurt anybody else, I'll give you a cut.
You have already lied to us. What makes these statements more true? Why would you cooperate with us?
Well, I'm alone, and the Boones aren't here in this cabin for me to corner, so I could use the extra hands now, and I am willing to pay for it. Split the reward 50-50.
This is a monetary compensation?
No, she
Yeah.
said specifically that she would be cutting us. So apparently there's some sort of surgical proficiency.
No. It would be cutting the loot.
Is it still
But
valuable?
then it is not. Yes, it is not usable as currency. I learned this.
Oh, cutting the amount in half. Sorry, the amount in half.
Oh. Do we need this currency? Ooh. Yes, we want to do this. We want to open up a community, and that requires money.
There you go. Yeah. Well, you're in
Money
luck
has
because
value.
we actually have the universe's best detective right here to do some tracking.
The universe's best detective.
We found you.
Touche. I honestly don't know where we go from here. I know the Boone brothers are up on this mountain somewhere. They were spotted driving up this way. If they're not at this cabin, they could be anywhere, or they could be headed for here.
It is a very large park. There are many trees.
Extremely large. Maybe we wait for the blizzard to calm down and then head out.
Sure, that sounds great.
Will
Very
you
well.
play Mind Meld seriously with us?
Yeah, okay, why don't you explain this to me again?
Okay.
And
As they do that, may I take Beyond for a very quick aside?
yeah, let's say Boulez starts explaining mind meld, and you and Beyond get up and head over to the kitchen. Say,
She said that these brothers attacked a man in Southern California. Is that not the other coast near your location?
That's right. That's where I am from. I mean, originally from the Bay Area, but
Are you aware of any such attack in history?
ooh boy, every Saturday night in Hollywood, like it's Southern California is a pretty big region, and
Something
kind of a lot
enough
there.
that an interstate bounty might be issued.
That's a good question, I suppose. If we can get like hold of some 2005 tech, maybe Ulas can start doing some searches. Off the top of my head, though, I don't think I can think of anything from this year where that would have been the case. Yeah. What are you thinking, Doc?
I was not sure. I do not know the limitations of your knowledge base of the other coast. Insight check 0. I mean, but they're holding back a little.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll get some searches going. And I'll rack my brain to think. Obviously, I have a shorthand collection of true crime stuff just for reference material, but it's not necessarily my specific purview.
Beyond, you want to
So
make an intellect roll to see if you can think of anything? Remember the name Boone or Boone Brothers or anything?
yeah,
Like that?
I'll do that just because like that's also like a pretty that's a pretty rememberable name. So here we go. Investigation on top of this, right, Rick?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So this is 8 plus roll. And that is pumpkin. So we're coming out to 14.
You don't remember this. I mean, true crime, but yeah, a single murder in all of Southern California, from a decade and a half ago, without more, is just even beyond you a little bit.
Yeah, I'll keep thinking on it. And see if anything rises to the top. Right now, off the top of my dome, I can't recall anything that sounds familiar about this to me.
It's only that most of these destinations have been somehow pertinent to us.
Yeah, I did get a little concerned about that, considering that's where I'm from. But I couldn't really connect any dots.
Well, I'm sure you shall mind meld with the answer.
Thank you. I will try my best. Let's see if the instructions have sunk in, because this.
It's a smash cut, and Benny's going, okay, 3, 2, 1.
And she's just
Pumpkin.
staring at you.
You gotta you have to say a
Oh,
word. Any
Okay,
word.
I think I'll get it this time. All right.
Yes.
So let's say you play some mind meld with Marlena. She finally gets it after a while, and I don't know, a couple hours later, let's say maybe 10,
I
11
actually,
a.m.
I did
Yeah?
want to ask her,
Oh yeah,
like once we were done with the game stuff, I did want to ask her if she would tell us more about like what happened
with the
to make
crime.
these, like to make these guys like run this far.
Well, Vic and Joey Boone beat a man to death.
Who's the
And
guy?
some old man. And then they attacked the cops who came to try and arrest them, stole a car, and took off. And they have been surprisingly clever at avoiding authorities. So
There was nothing else. Like,
well, the beating was pretty vicious.
were they known criminals before then? They've got a nickname.
Not that I know of. I mean, they had no arrest records, if that's what you mean. Whether or not they had committed crimes before, that I don't know.
They weren't on anyone's radar at all before that.
No, but Southern California is a big place with a lot of bad people in it.
That's fair.
Look at Vion a little defensively and possessively. How dare they?
No, it's true.
So yeah, so then you finish
Everyone becomes
playing.
a criminal on 4 or 5 on Thursday. Yeah.
Say by 11 a.m. or so, the storm has passed. You dole out as much of the winter gear as you can, and you head outside. And Marlena kind of looks around. Well, I reckon we can cover more ground if we split up.
In pairs?
Yeah, maybe we make a team of 3 and a team of 2.
Oh, yes, that math makes more sense.
Well, you all know your all strengths and weaknesses better than me, so what should the teams be?
Recently, we've been splitting up into team investigation and team heavy hitters, and then swapping who does what. So
Maybe we should
mix and
it up.
match. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that this is like Vion and Ulez are the ones that are just like. And Ulez, it's not that I don't want to, like go on and investigate. It's not that at all. That's not what I'm saying.
Just sometimes our skills, it's a lot of duplicate
overlap.
talent.
Yeah, the Venn diagram is kind of a circle when it comes to that.
It's a very cool circle.
It's such a good circle. It's a great circle. In fact, it's the best circle. But
so what are we doing? Vion and
Cadrax,
I'll
would
go
you be
Vion,
interested?
yeah.
Great.
okay,
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Vion and Cadrax is one team, and Ulez and Benny is the other.
I think we'll take
I think you should take Marlena. Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so Ulez, Benny, and Marlena.
She's some extra DPS output if you need it, because you have the tank.
Now we have tank, damage, and support.
Yeah, tank damage, the Holy Trinity.
Yes.
Okay, just writing this down so
For putting
that I
holes
remember who's on
in
what team.
your end.
So let's start with Ulez, Benny, and Marlena.
Okay.
I'm going to say before you part ways, Marlena gives Vion and Cadrax, she hands you a flare gun. She holds out to you and says, "Phones don't work well up here, so if you get into trouble, shoot this into the air and we'll come running. If we get into trouble, I'll fire my gun into the air."
We will hear that.
It's about as good as we're going to be able to do in this part. So, good luck.
Feel free also to, and I say to Ulez, to send Benny up as a flare.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Marlene's like, "Oh, yeah. You sure are an interesting bunch."
It just gets weirder, so.
I have a hard time imagining that. Where
Just
did you
wait.
get these weird abilities?
I told you, no idea.
No idea. Okay.
They are not always abilities. I consider them just natural talents.
Precisely. Well, except the ones that I got because of, yes.
That could
All
be
right.
considered an ability.
We're going to say Team Ulez, Benny, and Marlena, you head to the northwest, and Team Vion and Cadrax, you head towards the southeast. So you're just both going in opposite directions, looking for signs of anything.
Were there any tracks at the cabin?
You want to look around before you leave?
Yeah, because there was mention of them being in a vehicle, and it just kind of makes sense that in a snowy area, I know there's a bit of a storm, but it's like loose snow versus packed snow, and you can kind of
Yeah, you'll get like you'll get the divot of
Yeah.
like where the
Give me-
fresh. Yeah.
Give me an investigation roll.
Okay, snow, that's my expertise.
Yeah.
12.
12. You don't find anything like that.
Okay.
So you start heading towards the northwest with Marlena. And Ulez and Benny give me investigation rolls because you're both kind of scanning as you're going, looking for divots, footprints, broken branches, anything that might indicate a person has been through.
13.
13 and 5. Okay, Ulez got a 13.
Thank
You are
Jordan.
walking, maybe half an hour or so when you come across a dirt path leading further up the mountain. It has been heavily snowed over, probably easy to pass. But thanks to Ulez's sharp scanning ability and keen powers of observation, your team finds the dirt path. Marlena's, well, I don't know how mountaineer type the Boons are, so if there's a path, they might have stuck to it.
That is rational.
My guess is we head down the mountain, it goes probably back to town. So I would think they would go up the mountain.
Are these the type to have multiple secret hideouts?
Hard to say.
Well, let us travel and find out.
Yeah, and you start walking up that dirt path. Now, Team 2, Vion and Kadrax, you were heading towards the northwest. I want you to both give me investigation rolls, same kind of deal. You're looking for divots, footprints, broken branches, twigs, things like that.
Okay. This is 7. No, hold on. That's
Or if you have other ideas, you're of course welcome to throw them at me. But
8 plus roll.
Well, my throwing arm isn't terribly strong, but my sonic detection capacities are fairly impressive.
You want to scan for sounds?
Yes. I think
Okay.
I can go beyond my sight range rather significantly. Even humans can hear farther than they can see. And they are, well, I won't insult you.
Thanks.
Hey, who you calling human? No. So you want to do this as an ongoing scan as you go kind of deal?
That sounds perfectly reasonable to me.
All right,
Yes.
give me a complex task roll.
All right. That's Jesus. 16.
16. Okay. You were also walking, somewhere in the neighborhood of 20, 30 minutes. Kadrax, you hear, the dripping of, melting ice. You hear animals kind of scurrying about the forest. You hear branches that are too heavy with snow cracking and falling. You have not heard anything that really jumps out to you as human sounds yet. Vion, what did you get?
A 9. My investigation's usually more focused on city-based stuff. This is
Not your favorite terrain.
love the aesthetic.
Right.
The execution a little more difficult in this guy.
Yeah, Vion, you are not really seeing much, and the two of you, you keep walking in the
Wait.
direction. What?
I have an idea.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
As Benny proved, humans need to keep warm in the cold.
Right.
And at any rate, the cold makes it much easier to pick up any particular heat signatures.
True.
Ooh,
Do you not
Sam's a
have thermal
smarty.
vision goggles?
Sometimes they do remember when they have the mysterious benefactor gifts.
We have the
You-
distance 6 thermal vision.
Yes, distance 6. Is that what it said?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so distance 6 is a few miles.
Yes, it is.
That seems kind of.
From the
It
air,
works
it's
for
pretty good
up to
coverage.
material 6, so presumably
Oh,
you were giving it
yeah.
to us as through things, and I think you can probably pick a narratively convenient distance.
Yeah, I'm saying right. It can see through anything as thick as
Right.
stone. Is I think what I was picking. So it's like
Right,
yeah,
which means
as
that
far
we
as
could see through the woods very comfortably,
Yes.
which is what's most pertinent here. But like,
let's say
Yep.
it's distance 3, like a city block, or a few city blocks. A couple of blocks maybe. So distance
perhaps
4.
we can put those on Vion, and Vion looks and I listen.
That sounds great. Vion, do you want to make another investigation roll now that you got your thermal detection goggles on?
I would absolutely love to. So this is 8 plus roll. Again, I rolled a 1, so that's a 9.
Yeah, so the two of you start walking through the forest with the thermal detection goggles and the audio scanning, sonic audio scanning. And team 1, you follow the dirt path for a little bit. And give me investigation rolls again.
Okay. Is any of the snow on this dirt path, like, is it still pretty consistent? Does any of it look tread on? Is any of it like more melted? Like, I just let me tell you my investigation. 11.
And you got a 4. Okay, Ula's got an 11. You are kind of walking, and most of the snow is just perfectly even. I mean, the storm has really kind of laid down a whole blanket of snow, and there's not much to see. But Ula's, with your 11, you do pick up a couple of little divots that you think might be footprints filled in by snow.
Okay. If we could slow down our walking for a moment.
Yeah, why?
Look at this. I'm gonna try to brush away some of the snow. Look, this is a footprint.
And Marlena looks at it. Could be.
No, it definitely is. It's got treads and everything. Does it look like the kind of footwear a what are you capturing again? The brothers. What was their crime?
Murder.
Murder. Does this look like the footprint of a murderer?
You know what? Let's find out. I think this means we're on the right path.
Okay.
And she pulls the gun from over her shoulder. Be ready for anything. And you keep walking up that path. Meanwhile, team 2, give me investigation rolls.
All right. 8 plus roll. Wow, better than 1. 10.
Am I still doing it as a complex task roll?
Oh, yeah. For you, it's complex task.
18.
18.
Must be very nice.
18.
Well, I find it very satisfying.
Kadrax, you're still not getting anything, but Vion, you
Maybe you should have rolled a 10, Sam.
You're right, that's on me.
Vion, you pick up like ahead of you there is like a worm path that kind of drags through the ground, and when you kind of go over to look at it more closely, you can see that it maybe looks like something drove through here. It looks like you possibly make out the lines of tire treads that have been filled in by the snow, and they are headed further towards the southeast.
Okay, well, what we should do is, even though we don't have cell phone service, get a picture of this, compare it against tread marks, popular vehicles, something they might have. And I'm saying this as I kneel down and post-cog the tracks.
Postcog the tracks. Okay, give me a postcog roll.
4 plus roll, that's going to be, wow, a 5. Not going great today. But I'm trying to go very recent. These
How
just
recent?
happened. I don't know, like last hour or two. Like, I mean, the storm let up what this morning?
The storm let up, yeah, like I mean, within the last hour.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Well, in that case,
these tire tracks have been filled in, so they are pre-storm.
Pre-storm. Okay, whatever. Okay, fine.
Sorry if I missed. Sorry if I didn't.
No,
describe
that
that
makes total sense. That makes total sense. I'll go. I'll try to go within the last day. I know that kind of makes it a bit of a challenge, but let's just cast that wide net.
Okay, with a 5,
Yeah.
I'll say you see 2 large white kind of cargo vans with no windows, you know, and big kind of heavy snow tires coming up this way and disappearing around a bend that's up ahead.
Okay. And I broadcasted that.
Is that also leading to the southeast?
Yeah.
I will communicate such findings to our other team.
Kadrex, you try to use your comm, but you find it does not work.
But they're
Little radios. They probably got fritzed up in the time travel.
Well, we cannot communicate with our allies via our normal mechanisms. Theon.
Sure. Do you want to try something else, or
I could try.
what would you like to try?
An ultrasonic communication that Ulas might pick up and that humans could not.
That sounds like a great idea.
I'd like to screech in the puppy dog frequencies.
That's a complex task if I've ever heard one.
I think that sounds about right. And given what we just learned about distance, I should still be in range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've each been traveling about 30 minutes in opposite directions, but you're going very slowly on foot through heavy snow, so it's not really incredibly far. Kadrex, give me a complex task roll.
All right. Oh, hey. Stop trying to fly away. Oh, hey. Okay. You know, maybe you're just destined for greatness and you want freedom. All right, 17.
What was the message? I can't hear that.
2 cargo vans went to the southeast. I know, I'm too hypersonic for life.
Yeah,
We were humans,
too good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm impossible. 2 cargo vans went to the southeast within the last day. Be advised.
Well, as you pick that up, Benny, you do not.
Oh, Benny, there has been good news. Did you hear?
No.
What? 2 cargo vans to the east? You didn't.
And Marlena says, cargo vans.
Mm-hmm. They have been found. Wow.
How do you know that?
Universe's greatest detective?
Yes. Nobody heard that.
Oh, is this a Kadrex thing?
Oh, we forget sometimes.
Interesting.
perhaps while we walk, we should create a gadget that can replicate that. We would love to send messages, and like they'll check their little radio, and is it like static that we're hearing, or just nothing?
Yeah, like static.
Okay. Oh, our connections are down. We understand. And Ulez, while we're walking, is going to start looking for just bits to build a gadget out of to report that we've found some footsteps
Ooh,
leading in the west.
Ulez,
I don't think I'm going to find anything, and I do
yeah.
understand that we're in a forest, and I can't build it out of like leaves.
Yeah, rocks
dirt.
and
Dirt
pine
and pine
cones and
cones.
dirt. Yeah,
Pine
no,
cones!
probably not going to do it.
Put some antennas on a
Um,
pine cone and hope for the best.
But while you're looking around, you do find what looks like a fresh, like recently dropped peanut butter jar, and it is empty.
We have found another clue.
And Marlena looks at it and she kind of, dips her pinky into the peanut butter. And,
Oh.
It's fresh.
Ew.
You could have just felt it if it was frozen. It would have been here for a while. Okay. All right. Any chance you knew if a bear ate it or if we're following a person now?
What do the scrape marks look like? Like a finger, a tongue, a spoon, a cracker, a carrot?
And I'm gonna bet that this is the bones.
We are on the right path. There must
Yeah.
be more footprints then.
Investigation roll.
That's as good as I can do.
I'm not even gonna roll because it's
11,
gonna be a
12,
4 again,
13,
I'm sure.
13. 13's the best I can do.
All right. You do catch some more footprints or divots that look like they could be footprints. They are turning sort of sharply north and heading steeper up the mountain.
Okay.
So if 2 white panel vans are heading down the mountain, is that what we were told?
Correct.
And there are footprints heading up the mountain.
It appears to be one set. I think I have that right.
You cannot quite tell if it is one set or 2 people, walking in each other's footprints or something like that.
Okay.
They are very filled in. You are looking at just sort of the lightest divots.
Okay.
So either the brothers split or we're chasing 2 groups of people now.
Let's look to Marlena. What do you think?
Man, you're the boon expert.
Hmm.
Bounty hunter.
I can't imagine that the Boons would be driving around in 2 cargo vans. I'm going to guess that that's not relevant. I say we stay on the path we're on.
Would they have made any deals with anyone?
I guess anything's possible, but strikes me as unlikely.
Do they have connections out here? I'm sure that's something you looked up.
I didn't find anything. I think they're just fleeing.
Do they have connections eastward? Are they crossing the country to get to someone?
I think they're just scared and they're running away. But to be honest, I can't rule it out.
All right.
Good questions, Benny. We often forget to consider that they are, in fact, still humans. They act accordingly.
Kadrax, Vion, you round that bend that you have been walking towards, and investigation roll.
All right. 8 plus roll. 9.
16 for complex.
16 for complex. Kadrax, you immediately start hearing sounds that are very similar to what you heard before, kind of, dripping ice and stuff like that. But now there's like a different timbre to it. It sounds like the ice, the dripping is hitting like something metal, maybe.
Different surface, yes.
Um,
Does it have, once it hits, is there a certain degree of resonance? Like you hear the hollowness of a drum versus a flat object. You'd hear something different if it fell on the top of a van where there's space inside.
yeah, I would say you are hearing something that might be consistent with
Not
water hitting.
inconsistent with. It's
Yes, not
stuff.
inconsistent with water hitting the top of a van.
I will take this and I will report it to my ally. It sounds exactly like this. And I'll mimic it.
How the hell did you do that? That is in game and out of game.
Waddle stop and with my voice.
Oh, your answer was just I did it. Great. I'm gonna cast invisibility. We don't have the beanie, right? Ulis has the beanie.
I think Ules should have the beanie for two reasons. One, I don't think Ules should be surprised in a bad way. Ules should only be like birthday surprised. And
Yes.
two, aesthetics. Ules beanie. That is the totality of my argument.
We need to give our friend Lemons
The
as many gifts
beanie.
as we can.
Well, and there it is. Done.
Caitlin, you're and this is not a purposeful pun. This is just reference to like college games. You're heating up. If you get one more, you are, I believe, legally on fire until you miss.
Legally.
In that case, I'll cast invisibility on both of us. Little magic.
Okay, give me a little magic roll. Turn on invisibility.
Great. 8 to plus roll. Turn on. 12 to turn on.
Yeah, that worked easy.
Boom. Blast. We're invisible.
And yeah, you walk towards the direction that Kadrax heard those sounds coming from.
May I lift
And-
you?
Please, I would like nothing more.
Okay, you float towards the direction Kadrax saw that. Give me investigation roll, Leon. Or wait, what did you get? You got a 9?
Originally a 9, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, well, okay, give me it again, because now you have the benefit of Kadrax pointing a direction out to you.
Okay, there we go. This is going to be a 12. 4 plus
Okay.
8.
As you start floating in that direction, you start to perceive 2 large white cargo vans parked behind a bunch of trees, covered with branches. Looks like someone was trying to hide them.
Shall we float towards them?
Thing.
Kadrax, give me ping roll.
15.
Nobody inside.
They're unoccupied. Do you see any heat signatures?
Yeah, I use the goggles to check out if there's any heat signatures.
Not really. It's like maybe you get like a teeny tiny bit off the engine. They've probably be cool by now. They've been there for a while. Because the charter tracks were left before the snowfall, which were
Right.
So no, you're not really seeing much.
Okay.
All right, then we may safely take a look around inside
sounds
of the
good.
vehicle.
That sounds great.
I would like to break into the vehicle.
Which one? Let's say there's one in front and one in back.
The one in back.
Okay. Give me a complex task roll. This will be easy for you, honestly.
Are you
Yeah.
taking the one in the back? I'll hop to the one in the front.
Oh yes, because you can very comfortably face through.
Yeah. Just get to that window.
Exactly. So that's a 16.
Okay. Kadrax, that lock pops open very easily. And you head inside while Vion heads over into the other van.
Yeah.
Kadrax, inside the van, you see what do you see inside the van? You see computers with fancy kind of gadgets and all sorts of components to them. Very high tech looking gear. And it looks like there's some kind of communicator with a microphone. While you were looking around, Vion, you head into the other van. You see basically like a bunch of like lock boxes. Like the walls are kind of lined with look like lockers. Cadrex, what do you?
Oh,
Oh, sorry. So, Cadrex, what do you want to do?
Clearly, devices like these need to go to Ulez for analysis. If I fire up the communications device, though, to whatever channel it was already set on, do I hear anything?
You cannot seem to get it on. It's got some kind of, some kind of lock or something.
Of what nature? Obviously not a manual one that I could easily, do the
Yeah,
thing,
it's like, it seems that like it won't power up for you.
Oh, like
whatever-
a biometric signature, perhaps? What nature of do I perceive anything that would be security?
Give me an investigation roll.
Of course. An 11.
Yeah, there seems to be some kind of like thumb scanner. Meanwhile, Vion, you were in the thing. You see a bunch of lock boxes, kind of like lockers that are along with both sides of the back of the van. What do you want to do?
What kind of locks are on there?
They are kind of old-fashioned like dials, combination locks.
I'm going to cast big magic telepathy just to patch myself in with the doc.
Okay.
Hey,
I'll
Doc.
just give that to you.
Okay, great, thank you. Hey Doc, what material makes up the majority of just like dial locks? It wouldn't have to be aluminum, would it be?
No, there's a fair amount of stainless steel in them. There's some
damn it.
brass in the tumblers. I
Okay.
believe there is aluminum in some of it, but because it is a device with a lot of mechanics, a soft metal like aluminum would be inappropriate.
Well, what are you finding over there?
A bunch of high technology equipment that would make Ulez Galley very happy and makes me very frustrated for their
What's
absence.
frustrating you about it?
There is a biometric signature on this communications device,
Well,
and I do not have the correct bio.
Interesting. What do you say that we go ahead and trade dance partners for a quick second? Because I have a feeling that your areas of expertise would be able to rattle these locks open a little bit, find out what's inside. And my area of expertise might allow me to literally become the person whose biometric data is required to unlock that thing, considering I can replicate someone down to their DNA.
It sounds like a wonderful plan.
But
Why
there's
are
no
we
way.
dancing?
Oh. Oh no! It's just a figure of speech, like it's like as if we were dancing with the and then with people.
Well, Cadrax emerges and they are doing like a one-person tango just to be safe, just to err on the side of caution. They don't understand this procedure, but they're gonna do well.
I don't hear you responding, and so I just, hey Doc, you're not literally dancing right now, are you? Because we're invisible, so I can't see you.
We established last episode that we can see each other when we're
Oh
invisible.
my God, you're
No,
right.
we established that we get to do whatever's narratively
That's fair.
convenient and or
Sounds
funny
fair.
at the time of
It's
casting. 'cause of them
Understandable.
both.
Understandable.
Beyond's choice is what we're going to call
Yep.
this. So that if he can cast two different kinds of invisibility. So
Two different flavors.
Yeah, let's have some fun. I don't know, but I do know. I know in my heart.
I
that
like
you are
the
dancing.
idea that you tell me you're invisible,
Yeah.
but you can actually see all of it.
Oh, that's so manipulative and so in character. Doc, it's not real. You know what? Why don't you head over here, dance over here, check out these locks, and I'll see what I can do about those laptops.
all right, you switch vans. Let me say, Cadrax, what do you want to do?
I'm going to ping to check for crossbows, and then I'll open the lock.
Give me a ping roll.
You are just so well trained off that first season. 14.
You do not detect anything like that, no.
That's a relief. Okay, now I'm gonna knock the lock open.
All right, you give me complex. I mean, this is easy for you, honestly. I'm just gonna
Oh
say you
god,
can
it's
do
a
it.
top die. It's an
I'm not even
18.
gonna make it. Yeah, I mean, this is the easiest kind of lock there
The
is. So
dice
it's,
knew they didn't actually need to roll, and they were saving you the number.
you open the combination to the lock, pop the lock, open the locker, pull the door open, and hanging inside the locker, you see a green monk-like robe. And on that, we're going to take a 10-minute break. It looks like we are just under $100 away from the after credit lore drop. So thank you so much, everybody. And we will be right back here in 10. So don't go nowhere. And we are back. So we are still working on unlocking the after credits lore drop, but I want to still throw another thank you to everybody who has donated. And when we last left off, also, I if I'm not correctly, I think I saw our friend Daily Dale was in chat. Hello, Dale.
Yeah.
Just caught that.
Really complimenting the game of Mind Meld and how successful she has been at it.
Huh.
Did you say that?
No.
Okay,
the
great.
opposite. The opposite effect.
Complete
Hey,
opposite.
Omar, don't get in the middle of it.
And when we last left off, Kadrax had opened up a locker in one of the mysterious vans that they found hidden in the woods and found a long green monk-like robe hanging in the locker. Kadrax, what do you want to do?
Does this robe look familiar to me?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it looks very much like the robes that the agents of End used to wear.
Love that. All right. I will report this at the speed of thought to our now telepathically inflected ally Vion.
Vion, you get the message about the End robe.
Who was the last person we saw in the robes?
Could have been any number of agents of End that you fought in the glass tower.
Who would have been
Steve at
working
all.
in 2005?
Yeah, did
Here's the
we
thing.
see Steve in that outfit? I don't know if we actually got the full image of like asshole in his all
I
glory.
don't think Steve ever actually put it on, but you did catch. Hang on.
When I got shot, wasn't he wearing the robe? One of the times I got shot.
I thought you were when we were on the street.
And we were in the street trying to like follow him out. We ran out. The first time we used the teleporter tracker because some dude showed up and took.
I think
a
he was just
clone?
with those people. I
Oh, I thought
honestly
he was
can't
one-
remember off the top
No.
of my head.
You know what?
But
I'll message
you-
back. Hey Doc, Steve is in charge of the operation, right?
Yes.
Like later we find out that Steve is the one behind all this, right?
Well, significantly later, we are in the past.
Yeah. Okay. So it's feasible to say that Steve is probably the one with security access to a lot of these laptops. Is that right?
Of the people whom we have observed
Mm-hmm.
many, many years from now, he is the most likely to have been employed at this time.
Great. I'm gonna cast transformation on myself to make
You did
myself look
see-
like Steve.
you saw Agent Dan and Agent Jane were two of the people, who confessed to being the teleporters that were snatching everybody.
That's
They
true.
were played by Luke Evans and Katie Suckoff.
That's true. I'm gonna make a big gamble, and if it comes back to bite me, then we can just post cog the devices again.
Okay.
But I'm
What
gonna
do you
make
wanna do?
myself look like Steve. Transformation, please.
Big magic, little magic.
Big magic.
And what are you going for?
I want this to work, so I'm gonna cast it at level 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah, so it's 8 plus roll to turn on. That's gonna be 11 to turn on.
Okay, that will work.
Great.
You have transformation level 4, and you remember what Steve Stanton looked and sounded like, so you transform yourself into Steve, who is played by John Krasinski, I think.
Right.
If I recall.
And I will try that thumb scanner.
Yeah, and you press on the thumb scanner and boop, the readout comes to life.
Well, damn, I didn't think this through. And then
So-
I'll cast telepathy at, because I think we were using telepathy at Big Magic, so I'm just gonna our invisibility drops, and I gave you no warning because I didn't have time. So I cast telepathy at Little Magic, and then Doc, sorry, I dropped invisibilities because I've only got 2 magics I can do at once.
You know that I can hear you if you talk from a van away. Right?
Is that true?
I have sonic capabilities that far outstrip your own that come with perception, such that I can amplify sound. It is how we have tracked to this point. You can simply talk. I will hear you.
Okay, I'll do that in the future.
If you are showing off, though, please continue.
No, I'm kind of showing.
No, you're very impressive.
Then you're gonna hate this next part. I have no idea what to do now. I was able to get into the computers, but there's just like a readout.
What does it read?
What does it read, Rick?
You were just turning on the communicator, or what were you trying to turn on?
Yeah, the communicator. That's what you were fiddling with, right, Sam?
Yes.
Yeah.
So essentially, it just kind of says, standby. It's got like a little frequency dial on it that says the frequency it's broadcasting on.
You know what, Doc? I might have been mistaken. This might just I've got it to work, is what I actually meant to say.
See? Impressive.
Thank you for helping me get there. What do you think we should do? Is there any way you can track a signal? Is there any way you can sort of like find out where a thing is being communicated?
That is electromagnetic in nature through these communication devices. That is not a mechanical wave.
We probably need ULAs for that kind of stuff then, huh?
We need ULAs for all of these things. It would be much more helpful if they were here rather than we. Are there, if you can unlock the things that are there, are any of their teleportation devices available?
Rick, are any of the teleportation devices there?
Okay. So what I'm going to tell you is, because you kind of know this, but given how long our game has gone on, the teleportation belts that were created by Quantity Mechanics were only created about a year before, or a couple of months before you saw the teleporters, when
Of course.
Terrence Darnell was kidnapped for them. So you don't see anything like that.
No, but I can teleport us. Or anything.
Anything, indeed. That bespeaks your capacity.
Thank you very much. I've blushed twice in 2 days.
You usually do that on true observations. Strange. If I look in the glove compartment, rental papers, any sort of registration information, anything, I'm looking for additional hints at this point before I answer beyond.
You don't see anything like that. It's the only thing you find is like a map of, Colorado.
Okay. I cannot find anything further from here. Is the equipment of a size that it could be meaningfully carried? How much could we carry, to put another way? The computer equipment.
You can drive the vans.
No. First part, no.
You don't know it.
Second part, terrain. Those vans in that snow. But third part, again, no, I can't. The answer to that is no.
You're right. B, you're so right.
It's one of those, like, I'm so cold, and yet there's just a fiery Benny around me. What do I do?
Yeah, why don't we check in with you right now? I'm going to say, it's going to take some time while Omar and Sam are doing all the things they're talking about. So meanwhile, back with Team 1.
Have we done a lot of walking?
Yes.
Finally towards the top?
You have been walking, and the further you walk, sort of the higher you get on the mountain, And as
I'd
you
like to be walking behind Marlena if that's okay. Like if we're like walking order.
okay, I'll let you metagame that.
Well, I don't.
Benny
so-
has been
go ahead.
side-eyeing her
Mhm.
since we met her. I don't know. Like she's especially after the last conversation we had with her.
Fair
I do
enough.
not like any way she has been talking about anything Ulas has brought up. I don't like her.
She
And-
was dismissive of those vans. Like, B is sus. Ula's completely. They think like she's the nicest person ever.
Benny's the most anxious person on the planet. She's walking behind and that she's walking in the back.
Okay, I buy that. Benny, you're in the back. Marlene is in the middle. Ulez,
Mm-hmm.
you are up front following the tracks.
If we could be walking side by side, I know that's totally not necessary, but like Uliz would be describing all of the trees, talking about like the ecology of like pine trees and like how the importance of the little when they make beds on the ground and like things live under it to stay warm in the summer or in the winter time because it gets really cold and like it's just lots of that.
Yeah. All right, you're doing that, and Marlene is like kind of rolling her eyes, and every once in a while she tries to shush you. We're hunting fugitives here, you know. But yeah, you won't have any of that. Ulez, give me another investigation roll.
Okay.
Benny's not helpful with those, which is also why I put myself in back. I cannot
Smart.
look.
13.
13. After you've been walking, I don't know, hour and a half or something like that, you know, it's like it's slow going up the sides of these mountains because the snow is deep and, you know, and it gets steeper, you know, the higher up you get. So after you've been walking for a while, the footprints start getting a little clearer. And you start to be able to tell that there are actually two sets of prints. They look like they've been trying to walk in each other's prints to kind of hide that, but every once in a while it looks like they mess up a little bit. And you can tell there are two people. One of them has a larger foot, and one of them has a very small foot, almost kid-sized.
Ah, this confirms it. There are, in fact, two of the individuals, potentially the murderers who we are searching for.
And Marlena, like, you know, readies her gun, and she's like, all right, then we've got to be quiet and we've got to be on the lookout.
Quick question. Is your job, do you murder first or do you capture first?
Well, I prefer to take them in alive,
Oh, good. Okay, carry on.
but they will pay us the ransom if they're dead. They will pay us the bounty if they're dead.
Okay. And Ulas is gonna take a couple steps away from her.
Which way? To the side, towards Benny? Which way are you
Towards
going?
Benny. That sounds safe.
Okay.
Humans with guns. Deep down, like it's just not a good feeling for Ulas or Maria, you know?
And you keep walking up the path. And the footprints get clearer. And you can see them take a turn around a bend. And Marlena sort of, all right, we got to be careful here. This looks like ambush territory to me.
Oh, okay. Ulas is gonna put the hat on.
Oh, the Century Accelerator? Yep. Absolutely. You put on the hat, the beanie, and she very slowly starts making her way around the bend. And when you fully get around, you find yourself looking at a huge, long rock wall that has 3 cave entrances in it. As as the ground gets closer to the caves, it becomes less snowy and a little more rocky. So the kind of prints kind of disappear on, as the snow runs out, because like the mountain wall kind of blocked the snowfall like right by the cave entrances. So Marlena says, I bet they're in one of these caves.
Do we split up?
Can I try to do a stunt?
Ooh.
What do you want to do?
So I always forget 100% how these work, but the being able to extend your power into another power for a point of determination, is that?
Yeah.
It's an extra effect.
Yeah,
to use
okay.
another power.
Yeah.
Can I try to use detection heat to see if I can sense heat? Because that is my primary.
Yeah,
And see
I
if
like
can,
that.
Okay.
You spending your point of determination?
Yeah.
Okay, that is your only point of determination. And
I think she lava hands to
yeah, give me
to turn it on, and then kind of focuses really hard into the rocks.
So I'm going to say this extra is you essentially get, you were using your power for something it's not normally for,
Yeah,
and that is heat detection.
Mhm.
So it will work like a detection roll, which is the ability to detect a specific thing at visual range with awareness equal to your detection level. So we will say your detection level is, I guess,
My aura
whatever-
level?
Yeah, whatever power
Okay.
you're putting into your
Yeah.
aura now.
Yeah.
So that is 9, if I'm right.
Mhm.
Oof.
So I add aura, not awareness.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. But is this technical? No, this is a power roll. Never mind. Oh my god. So I rolled a 1. So 10?
You pick up, let's say there's cave A, B, and C.
Mhm.
You pick up very, very, very faint heat signature coming from cave C.
Yeah, I think she kind of just holds up both of her hands and is she has, the heat in her. She knows how to move fire around as well. So I think she kind of takes a second to just reach out and try to find the heat in this place that would stick out against the cold. And she'll kind of oh, you said which one? C, B, middle
C.
one? C, the one on the right?
And Marlene is like, you want the one on the right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take the one in the middle. Ulez, take the one on the left.
Okay.
Ulez, do you want to go alone or do you want to come with me?
I am afraid to go alone, but
Okay.
I want to do what's best.
We need one of us to go into each cave, because if they're in the one we don't go into, they can make a break for it.
That makes sense. I'll go into the first one.
All right.
When Marlena starts to walk in
trouble
her
for that.
cave, Benny's just gonna tell and be like, I felt heat in the third one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so I should go with you.
Only if you want to. I don't know why she's so adamant about splitting us up.
I will enter the first cave and then I will teleport to the entrance of the third after 30 seconds, okay?
Okay, I mean, you can go look it out, but I don't think anyone's gonna be in there, is basically it.
Oh, okay.
It's up to you.
Do we want to continue a facade or just be honest with Marlena?
I don't really care what she thinks about us, so I'm gonna go check out the third one.
Okay, we will
Oh,
join
it
you.
looks like we have opened up the lore drop. Thank you so much, everybody.
Woo!
We
Thank
are
you.
incredibly grateful for all the support you have given the show. I honestly every time this happens, I am just like, I can't believe it. Thank you so much, everyone. So, Benny, you said you're going in to see, and Ulez, you're going to go into A, or you're going with Benny? What did
I'm
you
going
say?
with Benny.
You're going with Benny.
Yeah.
Okay. The two of you head into Cave C. Marlena, having already entered Cave B, doesn't see this. And you start walking. It is dark. But with the light of Ulez's, glowing hair cables, you can kind of see where you're going. Meanwhile, back at the vans, what are you two doing?
There's something that's bothering me.
Yeah, what's up,
Leon?
Doc? Mm-hmm.
When we discovered Marlena,
Yeah,
she was running through the forest,
that's right.
seeking her cabin.
Mm-hmm.
It does not seem to me practical that a bounty hunter should engage through this park on foot. Where is her vehicle?
Yeah, how did she even get here? That's a good
Never
question.
wanted to get it back either. She never mentioned anything about it.
No, we just kind of took her over to the cabin. Yeah, what was her plan exactly? That's a good question.
Leon?
Mhm.
Can you try to authenticate one of those devices as Marlena?
I would be happy to, Doc. And I'm gonna drop the Steve and pop up to Marlena.
Oh, we love to drop the Steve.
May he rest in peace. Well, actually, not at this
Please.
time, but about 15 or 16 years in the future. But yeah. Yeah, you don't have to make a roll for that because I think you already have
Yeah,
that power
transformation's on, yeah.
So, yeah, you turn into Marlena, and what do you do?
One of these devices, I'm gonna try the thumb scanner and see if I can gain access.
You press your thumb against the thumb scanner, let's say on the computer next to the
Mhm.
communicator, and boop, it bleeps to life.
Okay. I'm trying to remember the range of my telepathy.
And while you're trying to remember that, right outside the van, you hear this sound. Boop, 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 boop.
I cast teleportation, level 3 or big or small magic, and I'm gonna teleport us both out of here instantly.
Give me a teleportation roll, like a magic roll.
This is 8 to
Big
turn.
magic, little magic.
This is little magic because I'm
Little
gonna do
magic.
burst on both of us. I won't take us far. Don't worry, Doc.
Were you still invisible?
No, that
we
got dropped.
that.
Okay.
And he didn't tell me it was a whole thing. I thought it was still 10
I
going
remember.
on, but no.
Yeah, give me
9
your
to turn on.
9. All right, you're drawing your rune, and you hear somebody. Hey, Marlena, you back?
I'm not gonna turn on teleportation anymore. I'm gonna quickly cast invisibility on Cadrax.
Okay, give me small magic, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a small magic. Okay, you're gonna get that.
Oh, great. Pumpkin. So it's 8 plus 6, 14.
I got a 1. You're fine. So yes, Cadrax, you disappear, and you know. Hey, I saw the computer come on. Is that you?
I open the door.
You open up the door and you look outside, and outside the van there are maybe 10 guys or so. Most of them are dressed like Marlena. They have camouflage with kind of black ski masks and the heavy glasses and rifles. A couple of them are wearing like green end robes. but all of them have these like big, giant, kind of clunky looking technological backpacks on. They almost look like Ghostbusters kind of, proton packs, like that kind of like big and unwieldy. And like one of them's, hitting he's got like a little button in his hand that's connected to the back of it by a cable. And he's just like, oh God, these things are always on the fritz, man. They better get better teleportation technology than this, or I don't know how we're supposed to conduct operations like this. What are you doing back here?
And I rub my throat a little bit. And I just like raspily mutter, "God, I got a wolf attack."
A wolf attack? And they all kind of start laughing, and they're sort of just like, figured you'd be able to take a couple of doggies.
It was an entire pack, thank you very much. And I jump down and I close the door behind me.
Well, you find those kids?
I lost them. How about you? You been successful?
No, not yet. We've been searching the mountain quadrant by quadrant, but so far we haven't picked up much.
Damn.
We have managed to clear most of the hikers and campers out of the area, at least. So if we find any footprints, they probably will belong to the Boons.
Good. And I look at all of them. So, pop quiz, what the hell are you still doing here?
What are you doing here?
I am about to send an update and then go try to find these kids. And if I'm successful and the, 10 of you aren't, that's going to be reflected in my report. Thank you very much.
Do me a favor, make a willpower roll.
Okay. Can I add performance?
Yeah.
So this is 6 plus roll. What were you? What are you? Okay. That's going to be an 11.
And he's... All right. We'll get back out there. And he kind of looks at you. He's got like a little bit of a raised eyebrow, but it's what are you gonna do?
I'm going to get back out there. I'm going to try to find those kids. But first, what I would give for a cup of coffee. And I just like open the door of the van and just like with my back to them. God, I would just kick anyone in the throat to get a goddamn cup of coffee right now. And I am and I have my back completely turned to them as I look up to where I could only assume the dock is.
I was about to ask whether or not you could see me.
Because I'm not invisible myself.
So just hear me out.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
You're making us the ghosts only you can see.
That's how I always rationalized it.
I figure that's
the
close
OG.
enough.
So I make eye contact with you, Cadrax. And when I don't have my coffee, I just get in such a bad mood. I have no idea what to do about it.
I'd like to shoot past Marlena Vion up and into the center of them. And as I do the orthopedically inadvisable superhero landing, I would like to pair it with a burst blast.
Give me your burst blast roll.
That's a 15.
Yeah, you right past Vion, and then boom, come down and just like all. Let's say, actually, wait, hang on, I'm gonna roll.
Oh no, I didn't think this through. This is fine. It's okay. Kadosh doesn't know. It's fine.
Don't worry about me. I've had
9
it before.
of the 10 of them are just knocked backwards. They all take some amount of damage. You can see that they are not happy. None of them are knocked out. Some of them are trying to get back to their feet.
Is it kind of a moment of chaos?
Yeah, it is a moment of chaos.
Can I add this?
The one on his feet is kind of yelling. He's like, I knew it. It's a super.
Can I add this really quickly? If they all fly everywhere, is it like, does any snow like get kicked up into the air or anything like that?
From the blast, yeah, I would say so. Like Cadrax, huge sonic blast at the snowy ground. Yeah,
Great.
sure.
As it's going, like I want, like anyone who's flying past me, I will like grapple with them, and I'm not trying to hold them. Essentially, I'm gonna roll with them, and as that person gets up, the exact copy of that dude gets up. I would like to just change the face that I'm wearing.
Yeah, okay. You change your face to one of the guys getting up, and the other one's like, "God damn, extra normals!" And he sort of they're pulling out their rifles, you know, and they're pointing them around, looking for whoever blasted them because Kadrak is still invisible, right?
Mm-hmm. And then I will look at the one who has my face, which is his original face, in all fairness, and I will point my gun at him and go, "There he is."
And you know, the other guy's like, "It's him!"
What? Shoot! It is clearly him. Shoot him. He's changing faces.
And the other one says 6B7G987. And then they all turn their rifles towards you, Vion.
They've
He's like,
infiltrated our security systems.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah, I can keep him occupied all day long, man.
Kadrax, give me a blast roll.
I want to just free up their time a bit. 16.
16. You let off another blast. The ones who got to their feet all go back down. Nobody is still quite unconscious yet. But they are, you know, you were getting the feeling you can see some of their backpacks are getting off like sparks and stuff like that.
Love that.
One of them kind of reaches up to his earpiece and he's like, Marlena, extra normals on the mountain, extra normals on the mountain.
I'm just gonna run up and clock that dude.
Tell you what, give me an initiative roll.
Okay.
I'd say you've got the benefit of your surprise enough.
All right. 3+ roll for me. That's gonna be a 4.
Kadrax?
9.
You said 9?
Yeah, I only rolled a 2.
Oh.
All right. So, Kadrax, you'll go first, then the bad guys will go, and then Vion. I guess, Kadrax, you're invisible, so you actually probably maintain the benefit of surprise for now.
Oh, excellent. It's somehow not on the periodic table, but it is the most important. So I would like to prioritize, as I continue to burst blasts and fools, anyone who is pointing a weapon at Vion. Because I know some of them are getting up.
Yep.
So I want to just.
You're doing a blast though, right? So give me your blast roll. I mean, like you're doing it like burst, right? So
Yes.
Yeah.
If I have to sacrifice number of targets to keep Vion out of my AoE, I do that. That is a higher priority because while I regretted but committed to blasting Benny Beckett, Vion Vigor doesn't quite have the big.
You can say.
Well, anyway, I rolled a 14 is the point I'm getting at here.
You got a 14. All right. You let off a blast that totally knocks out, I would say, 4 of these guys go down unconscious. They were the ones closest to Vion, who were in a position to arm. The other 6 are getting back to their feet, and one of them kind of touches his ear, and he's like, you know, base camp, we got extra normals on the mountain.
Hell yeah, dude.
And it's their attack.
Yeah.
So minion combat applies. They all just start firing towards you, Vion.
Great.
I'll interpose as a reaction and burn my next turn if I can. There's the interpose action. It weighs into the next initiative. So I'll lose my next turn.
You're gonna take the bullets for Vion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
They all kind of fire in a cloud, you know, in a barrage at you. And not bothering to figure out which Vion is which, you know, which guy is which. Kadrax, you fly just fast in front of Vion. The bullets easily, hit your aura. Give me a reflection roll.
All right, that's 9.
Yeah, that'll do it. You reflect the bullets. They just go off into the trees. The other guy is just mowed down completely, just shot by his own men, dead. That leaves 5 of these guys who are actually still awake.
Is the necklace, the Enlightenus necklace, on the reflection chain still?
It is.
Clippers
Yeah.
chain fortune life. So hey, just beyond.
Hey, what a great point. What a great little
Just
what a
while
great
there are
fun
guns.
fact.
Nice, excellent, yes.
What an actually fun fact.
That's right. The chain kipper Sweetletrot forged in life, hanging around your neck right now, Vion. I'm sure Kipper would be proud. Okay, we're gonna put a pin in that for a second and zip over back to the caves. Benny, Ulez, you are walking down the caves, down the cave. You are using, I assume, the light of Ulez's hair. Maybe Benny's got fire fists up, so it's like
Yeah. She'll have fire in a hand.
Yeah, lighting's not an issue for us.
Give me investigation rolls.
Team illumination. I'm not gonna roll. Make a roll. 7.
Not my best. 10.
You, as you walk, and you've been walking for a little while in there, the caves are kind of deep. You think maybe you hear like noise of movement, possibly an animal, possibly a person, but you hear something kind of like scurry and kind of like kick some rocks.
Can we pinpoint a direction, or did it like echo too much?
No, it's very very reflective in those caves, so it's like
Okay.
you can't quite. It's coming from ahead of you. That's about as good as you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Should we keep walking?
You know what? I kind of want to take a page out of the Ulez Galley method here. And Benny's gonna like lean forward and say, "Hello? Anybody in here? My name is Benny, and this is my friend Ulez."
We greet you.
Make a willpower roll, Benny.
So here's my question for you, Rick.
Yeah.
Willpower, it's an attribute roll. Benny doesn't 100% know what's going on, but she does not believe Marlena. Benny doesn't know that we're possibly going after Howard kids, but would that add to my willpower roll, the fact that my hand is on fire, to show that I am also a powered individual? Could I add my power or a specialty to this roll?
Yeah. Honestly, that kind of makes sense to me.
Yes. I was so excited about that skill. Okay. So, oh my god, my dice hate me so bad. That's fine. Okay. That's a 10. I rolled it very badly.
A 10.
Mm-hmm.
You start to hear from ahead of you like some whispering. It sounds like, 2 people maybe arguing with each other. And then, yeah, Willis.
We're still moving forward slowly.
Just like very, very slowly,
Yeah.
gently.
Casting our light.
And you keep moving forward, and then you hear, bastards! And like from behind like a rock, this kid with an aluminum bat like leaps at you and kind of takes a swing and
Did
just
my hat
whips.
At me?
Oh, you had the surprise hat on.
You did have the surprise hat. Yes.
It's a good looking toque. I want to use
Yes,
it.
Ulez.
Ulez,
Yes.
absolutely. The second this person starts moving, you kind of turn, and the reason why he whiffs is because you just easily step out of the way, and he's like, and he looks at you, and he's just like, he's like, "Fuckers, I'll never let you get him."
What do we see? Who is this? What do we see?
You see a teenage boy. I'd say he's played by maybe Roman Griffin Davis from what was that movie? The Taika Waititi Nazi movie.
Oh, yes.
It's called
It's right on the
Jojo
tip of my
Rabbit?
tongue. Jojo Rabbit. Thank you. Oh my
Jojo
God,
Rabbit.
my brain just totally blanked. Yeah.
Oh.
And from behind the rock, you see like an even younger kid, maybe 10, and he's maybe like Ian Armitage, the kid who plays young Sheldon, and he's kind of just like peering up from behind the rock, and he kind of looks like shaking, like terrified. And the older kid's just like, he's like, "Back off! You want some of this?" And he like swings the bat at you.
No.
Can I try to catch the bat?
Yeah, Benny, give me a coordination roll.
He's swinging it at me.
Well, it don't mean a thing if it ain't.
It's a 10.
Yeah, and you catch it, and he's just like,
I'm not trying to take it away from him. I just want to like stop the swinging.
yeah, his face just freezes. He looks absolutely terrified.
Hi. I think my hand is still on fire too. Sorry, kid. My name is Benny, and we're not trying to take anyone. Are you okay?
And he's like,
I'll let it go. I'll like slowly lower the bat and like I'll let it go if he'll like set it downward, point it downward.
"I don't care what you want to do to him. Not
Oh,
getting
no.
near my brother."
What? We are searching for murderers. Have you seen any?
I have a feeling that this is who she tricked us into trying to find, which means we absolutely should not let her get them.
Oh.
So
Oh no.
He's not a
Yeah.
murderer. It was an accident.
Accidents happen. What has occurred? Oh, we are Ulaz Galley, by the way, if you are comfortable in sharing this information.
And the younger kid kind of peeks up, and he's like, "It just kind of happened."
what can you
And-
do? Odd can go first. And Benny will step back and full body lava.
And the kid just like, his eyes like pop out and say, "Cool." And the older
Pretty
kid kind of,
hot,
like,
actually, I would
backs
say.
off a
But
little bit.
I will try. I will take it all the way back down, except for the handful of just fire for light. I'm not trying. I don't want to threaten them, but I'm trying to make it known that we might be on the
And-
same page.
And the older boy goes, "Show him, Joey." And like the rocks that are all around you just like lift into the air. And he's like, "I didn't know I could do it. It just happened." And all this stuff started flying around the room, and something hit Grandpa. And he died. And then the police came, and they said they understood, but then these other guys came, and they said they were gonna. And he starts crying, and the older kid says, they were gonna try and take him somewhere. So
I think I know where,
Don't
and we're gonna try to make sure you don't have to go there.
Oh, okay.
What are your names?
the older kid says, "I'm Vic. This is Joey."
You are Vic and Joey. Okay.
Greetings.
Okay.
And he looks at you and he's like, "Are you a robot?"
No, we are alien, but partly human recently.
And
That's
both of them
very
go,
cool.
like in tandem, both of the kids go, "Cool. Where are you from?"
Oh, we are from Spire. It is a planet very far away. Would you like to go to the cabin and get warm and safe?
I think we should
And
get
then
them away from
From
Marlena.
behind you, you
Oh.
hear,
Oh,
"Nobody is going anywhere."
Oh, that's what you think. And I'd like to turn into lava and turn around and face her.
You turn into lava.
hmm
and then all around you, you hear boop, boop, and these like kind of bright balls of light just appear in air and then pop, and all these end agents dressed just like Marlena, a couple of them in, end robes, very similar to the squad that Cadrax and Vion are confronting. You don't know that, but
Yeah.
kind
Hey,
of just
Ulez.
surround you. And one of them is like, get the nullifiers.
Hey, Ulez, do you want to get our friends out of here?
Yes. And I'm gonna grab both kids' hands
Yes.
and teleport away.
Yes.
Ulez, give me a teleportation roll with your uh-oh die.
With my uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ha 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 ha. It went off.
Where are we ending up?
Holy dice.
Mystery location on a mountain. Terrifying.
Mystery
It's a
location.
10 total.
You took just the kids?
Mhm.
Just the kids, yeah. I trust
Okay.
Kitty.
Yeah.
There is that crackle and bamf, and all of the end guys are like, kind of like, whoa, that's better than ours. And you we'll get to where you appear later.
Okay.
Actually, no, fuck it, let's do it. You bamf right outside of the caves that you just came into. There are a whole bunch of those white vans now, and maybe 20 or 30 of these end commandos standing there. The sun is, I would say, starting to set at this point.
Okay.
It's October, or it's, the winter, so sunset is kind of early. And Benny, you are all lavaed up, and one of them's like, I got this! And he dives at you, and when he dives at you, he hits this button that's in his hand, and he grabs you, and you hear boop.
So he takes 9 points of damage.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay.
Sweet
You
child.
hear him scream as he grabs you.
I don't get any
And-
resistance on this, right? It just happens.
No, that just happens.
Okay, cool.
Because just he grabbed you, aura, not knowing, and suddenly, maybe it's because the teleporters don't work that great, like the other guy was complaining. Maybe it's because of he was so burned, by your aura. Something.
I burned up
happens,
his. If it's a big vest, I probably scorched the teleporter a little bit too.
and the two of you are suddenly tumbling down the side of the mountain.
Awesome.
The end agent, weighed down by his heavy backpack, just crashes all the way to the bottom of the slope, but you keep rolling. Finally, you stop. You are a little banged up. You feel dizzy and disoriented, and you look around. There is a small cabin there that you can see, just maybe, 50 or 60 feet away. It seems vaguely familiar to you, but you don't really have time to think about that because the end agent gets up and pulls his weapon, and he's like, don't move! Don't move!
Can I lava arm punch his gun out of his hand?
Give me initiative roll.
Okay. 8.
You go first.
Sick. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know how far away from him I ended up, but I have my stretch, so I want to try to just I won't go anywhere. I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna.
Oh,
try
he's
to find him.
definitely within your stretch range. Your easy
Excellent.
stretch range. Yeah.
Excellent.
So you're hitting him. You're hitting the gun. What are you doing?
I'm gonna hit the gun. I want to punch the gun, or his
Right.
hands, or whatever would interfere with.
You punch the gun, and it kind of goes flying off and lands in like a snowbank, and kind of just way out of his reach. And he sort of looks and sees what you just did, and like turns around and starts running away through the snow. You, meanwhile, you start to feel very, very strange. There's this weird kind of nausea, and kind of something feels like it's pulling on you, and suddenly the fire that is closest kept breaks free, and you start burning brighter and brighter. The lava goes to blue, to white, the hottest you've ever felt yourself burning. Small plumes of flame start shooting off in all directions. You can't even control them. And then there's that weird pull again, and the flame flares towards the direction of that little cabin. And then the pull gets stronger, and it happens again. And the pull gets even stronger, and a pillar of fire shoots straight at that cabin through an open window. And you hear a child scream. And then it stops. The flame dies down, and you start feeling normal again.
I'm already moving towards the cabin.
You're running towards the cabin. You can see it is on fire, and you hear voices.
I'm trying to put it down with fire control. I want.
Give me a fire control roll.
Oh God. Okay. No. Why do my dice hate me so bad? That's a 6.
You're struggling. Whatever is happening to you
Yeah.
is damaged your ability to use your power.
Oh, I go in then. If there's people in there, I can help them.
You are running towards it.
Yeah.
And as you get closer, you can hear these voices kind of yelling and shouting inside, and you swear you hear someone shout, "It's Benny!" And then you realize where you are. Right after your 11th birthday, your moms took you to Colorado on a ski trip as a present.
Yeah.
And they rented a little cabin in the woods surrounded by mountains. And you were so excited about it. But on the third night that you were there, something happened that changed your life forever. You were supposed to be asleep in your bed, but instead you were awake trying to take pictures of the stars out the open window, when suddenly you were engulfed in flame. You didn't know where it came from, but you screamed, and then everything went black. And the next thing you knew, you were being pulled from the burning cabin by your moms, who were mystified to see that you were not burned at all. That was when it all started. This is when it all started. And it dawns on you, this is how you got your powers. What do you want to do?
Do I see my mom's take a young me out of the cabin?
As you are sort of standing and processing this all, you can see them pulling you, and one of them, what's going on? I don't know. It'll be all right. One of them's trying to comfort you. Benny, it's okay. The other one's just like, what started it? And they're kind of, panicking a little bit, but
I think once Benny realizes what this is, like, she was running at the building, she couldn't bring the flames down, she's freaking out what just happened, she felt really weird, and then she recognizes what's happening, and I think she like stops and is just like in shock and like can't move for.
Benny, give me an intellect roll real quick.
7.
You honestly can barely process what's going on.
No.
You do remember Molly Darnell saying something about don't get too close to yourself or weird reality warping stuff could happen. But that's about all you can get your head around right now.
Am I still did it burn itself out?
Oh yeah. As soon as that plume of flame shot through the cabin, you were back to normal.
I'm back flesh and blood? Like
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think she stands there probably longer than she should have. But once she kind of like catches up, hears Molly Darnell's voice in her head, she doesn't know she'll kind of start just like backing up to like get to like a tree to like get tuck herself around something to get out of line of sight. But I think it's like really stilted and she's kind of doesn't know what to do with this.
And as you duck yourself behind that tree, we're going to cut back to Vion and Kadrax. There are 5 of those end commandos left. and having just killed one of their brethren. And suddenly they all kind of touch their earpieces and they look at each other and they're like, "We got him!" And they kind of hit those buttons on their, little kind of backpacks, and one by one, they all just vanish right before you in these little balls of light.
Well, that sucks.
Can we track them on their equipment in this van?
I'd imagine so. Also, they have all earpieces, right?
There's work.
Yeah. And so I just go over to some of the bodies, and Beyond's a nerd. He's played, I'm sure, a role-playing game of sorts. He loots the bodies.
Beyond into a role-playing game?
On a scale of 0 to Skyrim, how much do you loot on these guys?
Ooh, we're taking a double Skyrim here. We're getting 2005's best technology.
And 2005's best pants. No.
What if we run into some giant crabs? So I chuck one of the earpieces over to you.
All right. I am now 2 earpieces.
Great. I think the same for me. And just like tap the earpiece and go, "Hey, Doc, is this working? Can you hear me?"
I thought we talked about this. You could be in the other van. You could be farther away from the other van.
Oh, simply what I mean to say is the earpiece working? Can you hear me through the earpiece that
Oh yes, the device is also operational.
Fantastic. That's great. Hey fellas, listen. My name's Vion Vigor. I assume you're playing a little bit of hide and seek. You're gonna go find some kids. We're gonna find you first. Good luck. And I take my hand off of the earpiece. Should we go see where they went to, Doc?
Yes. Let's. And may I lift you?
I would enjoy nothing more.
Whoosh!
You shoot up into the air over the trees. Like I said, it is dark out now, so it is much harder to spot what's going on out there.
But we have thermal goggles and our
We have thermal
echolocation.
goggles.
Vion, give me
Yeah.
investigation. Kadrax, give me complex task.
That's gonna be 8 + 5, 13. Happy birthday, Taylor Swift. It's never her birthday. I don't know why I say this.
Hey, if you say it often enough over enough years, eventually.
Yeah.
It does have to be her birthday at some point, I think. Yeah.
But just have to keep doing power. Wait.
What'd you get, Sam?
13 and 14, respectively.
13 and 14. Okay. Vion, way to the north, up the mountain, you can see like this aura of heat in the dark. You are guessing, something is going on at this spot. Kadrax, you can hear the sounds of engines essentially coming from the same direction.
Doc, if you can get us there fast enough, I actually, for the first time in maybe my entire one of two lives, or both, I might actually have a good idea.
You fly in that direction, Kadrax?
I do, though I don't credit the self-deprecation.
You fly in that direction, and you shoot up the mountain, and find yourself heading towards a canyon, the steep rock wall that is all kind of enclosed except for like one passageway that comes around a bend. You can see from the distance, because you are in the air, that there are a whole fleet of those vans parked down there, and it looks like beyond with the goggles you can see a bunch of the heat signatures of people.
Yeah. Do I see? We get some heat signatures. I'm imagining this the way that Hollywood represents, sort of like heat vision.
Yeah,
stuff.
think like yes, Predator.
Great, thank you. Exactly. Thank you for speaking my language.
I learned science in Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Thank you.
So in 6th day. So I would like to. Do I see any heat signatures that are possibly a little bit smaller than the others?
Give me an investigation roll.
Okay. 8+ roll. Come on, it's pumpkin. 14.
You these are easy to spot
Yeah.
because the vast majority of these are enclosing around 3 heat signatures.
Can I have a small narrative liberty?
What do you want to do?
So everybody's been going buck wild, and it's been a delight. And poor little Ulez is just like a gentle fuck up. So I think they've been doing their best to kind of like teleport with these kids, and it's just like they're frazzled, they're worried. This is overwhelming, and this is scary for those kids. This is scary for Ulez. So from like a bird's eye view, especially kind of viewing the heat signatures, it's just a bunch of like blinking because we're teleporting around the mountain, just kind of going in circles, and Ulez is doing their best to hold on to these kids while accomplishing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, you are, yes, kind of trying to shield the kids, looking for somewhere to go. There's a very wide perimeter around you, so there's not, every time you kind of turn in another direction, you see someone closing in. And you hear someone, get the nullifiers,
No.
Since we're not directly in combat yet, right? Can I prepare magic?
Yeah, well, what do you want to do?
I want to prepare teleportation. I just want to help Ulez out a little bit with little magic.
Okay. Are you using your magic for anything right now?
No, I ain't doing anything. I'm just getting carried. I'm a little backpack.
Right. Okay. You're just getting carried. Okay. So big magic, little magic.
Little magic.
All right. Give me.
That's going to be 8 + 5 to turn on 13. Happy birthday, Taylor Swift.
Teleportation level 3 is on.
Fantastic. Doc, how fast can you get us there?
I can get you there. Can you get them out? Phase whatever needs to be done. Get them away from the others. And then I look up to each side of the canyon, out into safety.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay.
Doc, what if we work together on this a little bit? Because I'm getting a sense of what you're going for. What if I can grant you a couple seconds? Because you know how there's always that moment in movies where like people are rushing away from that really bad CGI. Snow cloud.
You have to know that I will not understand this if it is.
Yeah, you know what? Great point. Great point. I get your meaning. Don't worry. Ulez and the kids will be completely taken care of. But let me see if I can assist you a little bit really quickly, if that's all right. And how close
you have in the time until we arrive at them, and I begin to falcon down.
Perfect. And if you don't mind, is there a chance we can land for a sec, Doc, as well? Just 1 second.
We heard them say that setting up the nullifiers.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of time.
Okay, great. That's fine. I'll just yell from up here. I can be pretty loud. Hey, douchebags. And I'm going to cast teleportation. Here's the thing, though.
So they turn into like a New York cabbie? What's up? Okay, yeah, all right. Hey, douchebags.
Hey, we're flying here. Vion figure goes, hey, douchebags. Because the thing is, Vion's a spirit of justice. And his purpose is to identify evil in this world and get between the evil and the folks that are affected by it. Right now, we got a lot of folks who are enacting that, and we got 2 kids who are going to be affected by it. That just seems wrong. So I cast teleportation at level 3. I cast it with burst. I just pulled up the book. I should probably do that more often, but I quickly read up on what burst means, and it means to everybody in the area. Now, Ulez is pretty good at teleportation. These folks, not so much. It takes them a little bit of time. I haven't done the exact math here. Sam, I know that's 9.8
meters per second.
Meter per second, right? So I'm trying to figure out exactly how quickly they fall from a city block, because that happens to be how far they are going to be falling right now as I teleport literally everyone in the area a city block up into the sky.
Short side of the block or the long one? Because Manhattan block's 264 feet by 900, so it's really quite an appreciable difference.
It's up to you, Rick.
So you're trying to teleport all the end agents?
Everyone. Everybody.
So they just like
Everybody
fall
into
down
the air. Yep.
into the air, and just so they just plummet back down. That's what you're going for. Okay, give me.
Brilliant.
It's on. It just works.
I'm not sure your burst will be able to get all of them.
I checked the wording. It says everyone in the area.
Yeah, but the area is for me to define, and they are sort of spread out. Like I said to Ulez, they are sort of surrounding a wide perimeter around Ulez. Like I think burst is more like, Superman hits the ground and all the people
Specifically
surrounding
defined as
him.
close range,
Yeah.
as I recall.
Is it close range? Anyhow, anyone near Ulez and the kids.
Anyone near Ulez and the kids. Give me a teleportation roll.
Great.
Level 3.
Quick roll. Where did you go? Hold on 1 second. Come back to me. That didn't work. That's pumpkin right there.
Damn.
So that's 9.
Yep.
And
I'm rolling
like-
one so we can see the pumpkin blow kisses. It's the balance.
like 10 of those guys just bamf away, and it's just pure. They just disappear in a second because this isn't even the quantity teleporter. This is just like your magic. And they just vanish and then reappear immediately, just 100 yards in the air or however long a city block is, and then you just hear like, "Wah!" They all just kind of like come falling right down and just all hit the ground. What are you doing? Oh, sorry, you don't know.
Oh, so it's just like in the same chaos, Ulez and the kids also popped up there, giving you just like a chance to teleport to another location.
May I teleport with the kids?
Yeah. Die applies. So.
Yep. Die is A-okay, and that is a 10.
Die is A-okay. Where were you teleporting to?
Honestly, if I could think of a place where maybe we would be a semi-okay that I've also been, the original location that we landed when we arrived in this place.
Okay. You find yourself back in those woods, looking out over that view of the other mountains, just like it was when you showed up, only it's dark now. And watch out for wolves. But with Noah Odai, it works cleanly. Cadrax, what are you doing?
Once I've seen them bamf away, I rise back up to those sides of the canyon. And I am going to start using... Well, so often I use frequencies like I used with Ulez, ultrasonic frequencies. Or I'm going for very short-range kinetic blast. It's very rare that I deliberately and without some cause of great emotion invoke the more seismic side of myself.
Give me a complex task roll. You were trying to, I assume you're not just using blast. You are trying to trigger like an earthquake, is what you're saying? Or
Induce an avalanche,
I'm trying
perhaps?
to break. Yep. If it's
Okay.
an avalanche, great. If it's the sides of the canyon falling in, also great.
Let's see what happens. Give me a complex task roll. This is going to be difficult because you're trying to move a lot of stuff.
Mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
You're spending yours or community?
My final.
Okay.
That's a 4 on the die, baby. So that's an 18 total.
Cadrax, you release the voice just in all directions around you, and there's this like kind of sonic boom in the canyon, and then everything's quiet for a second, and then a little bit of snow slides from one side, and then a small narrow band of snow slides from the other side, and then a little more falls, and then this rumbling, this loud rumble, as this huge, like, you've seen avalanches like in nature specials, like these giant kind of like huge bricks of snow just like slide down the mountain, and it's like from all sides, like this is right after a fresh Colorado snowfall, all sticking up there. Avalanche just pours into the canyon and just buries everything and everyone in there.
Where is the cabin We're located at in all of this.
The cabin that you're at, you are way at the bottom of the mountain. You're
far enough
not-
away that you wouldn't have shown up on thermals.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
We saw you with the-
are kind of nowhere near here.
Cool. Okay.
This is all in this canyon that is
That's
sort of
fine.
on the side of the mountain.
We
Yeah.
were downhill, so I just wanted to make sure.
Oh yeah, no,
Nope,
that's
I
it's a
thought
good
about it
check.
before I did it. I thought that nope.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't do you like that.
It's okay. I had a plan, but it's okay.
Although it
It's
would have
good.
been extinguishing anyway, we thought about it.
And then everything goes quiet.
Right? Fire, thunder, spirit. The end of them.
Oh,
Man, we just keep beating them, don't we, Doc?
And we will again someday. I'll screech to Ules. Where are you? Or sorry, I will Ules Kali.
I'll narrate you out here since we're getting towards the end. You hook up with Ulez, you go searching for Benny with the thermal goggles and find her all the way at the bottom of the mountain.
You find her sitting vaguely catatonic behind a tree.
Yeah,
Hey.
I'll say, all of you, and the Boone brothers can, teleport down there and be reunited with Benny. Do you want to play anything out when you're reunited?
You're right there, Benny?
I don't know.
Okay, what happened?
And she kind of like points towards where the cabin is that you guys can see probably scorch marks and fire and stuff. But it's
Okay.
no longer burning, I don't think.
Did anyone get hurt?
I'm in there.
No, you're here. You're in front of us.
And I'm in there.
No, you are from Michigan. This is Colorado.
We came here for my birthday.
Past you? Oh, no. Oh, you shouldn't be close to past you.
I
It
think
can
I
warp
just
reality.
gave I think I just gave myself the fire.
Is that the natural progression? Beginning?
Reality
Hey.
warping when one is
Tries to
nearby
cover the
oneself.
cuties.
And I'm gonna put my hands on Benny's shoulders. Hey, it's okay. Technically, this happened in the past. This is set.
But
Ground
this
yourself.
I
Just-
remember this.
Yeah, it did. It did. I want you to do me a huge favor. I want you to listen for the breeze really quickly. That's real. I want you to feel the cold temperature in the air. That's also real. Up in the sky, those stars, that's also real. All right? All these questions and everything like that, that's all a lot of stuff our brains do. Just focus right now on the natural existence of the universe. It just exists. You don't have to hold anything up. You're good. It's easy. Existing is just easy. You just do it. That's it.
And Joey Boone walks over and kind of like hugs you around your waist, and he says, "Don't be scared. I was scared until you showed up."
Benny,
I can fucking pull a hug too. Thanks,
is
buddy.
there anything you remember your mom saying about that day, aside from what you just witnessed?
The only thing they ever told me was that we didn't know where the fire came from.
Is there anything you would like one of us to tell them? A message to deliver? Not you. Already probably a lot of reality ripples there. Gets a little complicated. I haven't thought through it. Doc, you're way smarter than me. Probably a bad idea, right? Good idea? Bad idea?
In fact, it would not have direct temporal consequences, particularly if you were. Yes, no. At worst, you would have perhaps a little bit of deja vu upon seeing us for the first time many, many, many years later, but respectfully, humans are terrible with facial recognition of their own species.
I think
great
I'm just asleep right now. But
Is
my
there
moms are
anything,
still awake.
is there anything you'd like to tell them, knowing what you know now?
Can you tell them she's gonna be okay?
Why don't you do it? Why don't you tell them, and why don't you tell yourself?
I don't think I can go talk to myself. I think that's
That's
bad.
bad. We can bring the moms to you, perhaps.
Is that okay?
I'm not an expert in any of this stuff, but they did take it remarkably well.
It's just I'm just thinking everything that they gave you throughout your life. What if you also just gave them this peace of mind? It ain't bad, right?
Rex
They
will
were
start
really-
walking toward them.
They were really scared. Benny's walking with you.
And I'll just like kind of tap on the door.
And as we walk up, I would like to take Benny's hand.
Yeah, she squeezes it.
You've wondered for so long where they came from. And it came from the best, most beautiful place possible. Not from some experiment or accident. It came from you.
Okay.
All right.
And I'll knock on the door again.
And you can hear some muffled voices, and the door opens, and it is a distinctly younger looking Lola Beckett, played by Jodie Foster, pokes her head out. Yeah?
Hi.
Hi.
I know this is gonna sound really bizarre, and I know things are kind of weird right now, and I can't really explain why I know that, but I just wanted to tell you that she's gonna be okay. No matter what happens, she's gonna be okay. I promise.
How do you know what happened?
I can't tell you. But
You're not
I
one of those
can get-
religious people, are you?
no. No. I just know, and I know weirder things in this are gonna keep happening. But you guys do it well, and you're good at taking things in stride. But I just wanted you to know that she's gonna be okay.
It's going to be extraordinary.
This day just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
Have a good night, Mrs. Beckett.
Hey, how did...
And we're gonna start backing up into the snow in the dark.
Yeah, and she sort of seems real puzzled as you disappear into the darkness.
I think Benny's shaking a little bit. I think that was a lot for her.
Yeah, Benny, this was a lot for you, and now that you know what happened, it marks the date for you as October 18th, 2005. So you all go back to that cabin, and y'all rest up at the cabin. Early, let's say the next morning, you get ready to move on to your next time jump, wherever it may take you. Let's say,
We gotta figure out what to do with these two children.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta take care of the kids first.
We can't just
okay, you're right. Sorry.
No, they got a
In
cabin.
fact-
They've got more than I have. Don't worry about it.
Who can we
You-
get in contact with here in this time?
You use the end technology in the van to call the local police. Sheriff's office sends a car up to pick up the kids. And promises they will get them back home. The kids are okay. Remember, they said that they were fine until the end people showed up.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And as they're getting into the sheriff's car, Joey says, "Thank you so much. We wouldn't have made it without you." And Vic says, "Oh, what are you gonna say?"
Oh, you're welcome. Just remember to use your powers for good.
Joey's, "I'm gonna be just like you."
Will you swear upon your pinky?
And Joey goes, "Will I?" And he pinky swears with you.
Do
And
they
then
just both just float a little bit? Just a little uplifting?
And Vic says, "As soon as we get somewhere safe, I'm going to tell my Aunt Lila all about this and these end people. She's like a secret agent type, and if anyone can figure out how to take them down, it's going to be her."
Oh, yes. She sounds very competent.
That's not
Tell
a bad
her
idea at all.
everything.
I shake their hands, and the older one, I shake his hand and I pull him in a little close, and I say, "Hey, in 2010, the Giants win the World Series."
And he
Oh.
looks at you and he's like, yeah, okay. And,
Benny's gonna crouch down, give Joey another hug, and then she's gonna just kind of like mid hug, just tell him you're gonna be okay too.
And he hugs you back and he's like, "So are you." And that car pulls away. Vion, you all join hands and you draw your time rune.
Yep.
The crystal starts to glow. The glow gets brighter and brighter, and it flashes so brightly that for a moment all you can see is blue. And then, bam! Benny, you find yourself on a short, rickety boardwalk that runs along a narrow beach facing what you assume is the ocean. The sun is low in the sky, and you can tell it's early morning. Some ways to the east, you make out a dock jutting into the water, and to the west, you see some kind of a boatyard. Your teammates are nowhere in sight. Ulez, you find yourself alone on a hilltop, surrounded by a flat, grassy plain bordered by a moody chestnut oak forest. Ahead of you is a dilapidated wooden fence, and just beyond it, an old graveyard with maybe 20 tombstones in it. Kadrax, you are standing on a stone path surrounded by pine trees. You smell salt in the air, and you can hear waves crashing and seagulls. And ahead of you is a modest little building with a sign above its double doors that reads Crescent Cottages. And Vion, when the blue light fades, for you, everything just goes black. And we will pick up right there next week. Thank you so much, everybody. This was a fun one. I love these people. You are the four
You love
best
us,
people in
we
history.
love you. How do you do this? How do you constantly
Every
just-
week.
No,
What?
Every week.
He's really
Ah!
good. He's
No, don't-
really good. Most people are not this good,
No.
and that's fine. That's great. That's lovely. And then every so often you're blessed with someone who just like is this good, and then the story is just it's better. Better than
Yes.
what? No, better.
Just
don't listen to them. I am basking in the
Ah.
reflected glory of my players.
Listen to me. I have a voice. It's loud.
Real quick, go around the table. Tell the good people where they can find you. Caitlin Bruder.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Bruder. You can find me on Twitter at KKAMABR. You can find me on Rule of Lore on Wednesday nights, here on QueueTimes on Sundays, and on Coffee. Bruder Caitlin is my name on there. That's all I got. I'm very emotional. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Be Zelda.
Hello all, I've been your non-binary busy bee. You can find me on Twitter as @B_Zelda. I'm a podcaster, streamer, writer. I wrote something for Archon, a systemless cyberpunk setting that came out recently. As well, I'm the community manager for D&D Adventures League, and right now I'm just feeling all the feelings. Feeling.
Oh, love you, B. Sam Delev.
Hello, my name is Sam DeLev. I've been your Caldrax Eversinger, and I, too, have been occasionally accused of having a feeling. If you want to see me do such things, you can see it as a role-playing performer and variety streamer throughout the Twitch net, the schedule for which is on my twitch.tv about page, twitch.tv/Delevely, DELEVELY, as well as all of my one-offs on Twitter at Tchaikovsky, CHAIKOVSKY. Please catch me back here tonight on this channel tomorrow for Barony of Olives at 6 p.m. Yeah, I know, we got timey-wimey. What are you going to do? And please, please, please do stay posted to that Twitter, because I have a big announcement that's coming very soon, like this week. Like literally this week. Like my Tuesday morning stream is canceled, so please pay attention this week. Thank you.
Intriguing. And Omar Najam.
Hey everyone, I'm Omar Najam. You can find me at Omar Najam on Twitter. Some other stuff. Oh, check out our Discord. So many wonderful people are doing so many wonderful things. We've got some incredible guest poets hopping in. Liz is doing readings. They're so absolutely incredible, and their knowledge base of poetry is unfathomable. So please go enjoy their stream. Every time they talk about like art stuff, I'm just like, oh, great. Now I'm smarter. Thank you very much for that, Liz. And we have Villains Origins. I think this week is the off week, and then next week I believe we hop over to Sam's brilliant mind. So that's coming up. So check out the Discord for that stuff. And then also a show I'm in just launched last Tuesday. And so please feel free to check that out. It's called Boros Saga Bainesbreak over at Pixel Circus. I play a little Tabaxi rogue, and it's pre-taped, so I know the story, and just trust me, it's incredible. And the places that these characters get to go and the places that these players push themselves, it's absolutely wonderful. And there's stuff that I get to do in this game I've never done in another game before, in terms of character dynamics, and I'm so excited for people to watch. So please check that out. And I think that's it.
It's basically a Tabaxi rogue in real life.
You're too kind to me.
I'm Rick Budd. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at rbud913, or you can follow the show at Powerplay RPG. And I will be back here next week. And on that, the theater goes dark. And we are in Avalon, Paradise Square, Friday, September 17th, 2021. It's day, and we're at the Port Ruby Central Transit Station. People are freaking out. They are running every which way, and it is not hard to guess why, because through the giant bay windows, we can see alien spaceships in the sky above the city. Dawn Eaglesmith, who is standing in line to buy a bus ticket, spies a bank of payphones on the wall, and she runs over and digs a quarter out of her pocket, and she drops it in and dials, waits a moment, and then, "Mom, it's me." And she listens. I know, I'm sorry, but I want to come home now. And she listens again, and she's like, "I'm in Paradise Square at the..." But before she can finish, the whole wall next to her just blasts open. If she was like an inch to the right, she would have been finished. She drops the receiver and stumbles backwards as 24 Alpha Combine infantry units roll right through the hole in the wall. She panics. Everyone in there is screaming and running. The Combine soldiers shapeshift into vaguely humanoid forms and draw their weapons. Dawn looks for some place to run, but they are everywhere, and suddenly her eyes light up with the crackling blue glow of electricity. Her aura spreads over her body, and the Combine soldiers take notice. They begin to circle her, which only makes her more afraid, which only makes the aura grow brighter and brighter and wider and wider. Bolts of electricity start shooting off of her body. At first, they reach a few inches, and then a few feet, and then a few more. And after a few seconds, she disappears into the middle of a giant and quickly expanding ball of electricity. She screams in fear, and as she does, there is this massive electrical discharge. A huge lightning bolt fires straight up into the air with incredible force. And as the ceiling begins to come down on the crowd, we cut to black. Thanks for playing with us.